Oh no. Hey everybody. Tonight we are debating whether or not flat Earth is still tenable after the final experiment, and we are starting right now with MCToon's opening. Thanks so much for being with us. MCToon, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, James, and thank you, Brian, for showing up here. Start with I'm going to get right into it. When I was in Antarctica, I used this prediction that was made before I got there. I had never been there before. This was made by Janusz Takas and based on the globe, the radius of the Earth, the elevation of the sun, the position of the sun in the sky, for how long shadows would be. And it was specifically done with a gnomon of 165 centimeters high. So what did I do? I took a tripod. I put a Insta360 camera on that tripod. I set it to 165 centimeters high, and then I hit record and I left. Came back once to change batteries, and I left again. And then I came back after 24 full hours to see what it did. And I did not even see until hours later what the video looked like because it's almost a full terabyte of video and it took a while to wrangle that data. But I have it ready to show the full video here. I'm going to share my screen if you're ready, James. Yep,
Does your video have audio?
it does.
Is it copyrighted?
It is not.
All right, I'm trusting you. All right, ready, go for it.
All right, well, I need to make sure hold on. Yeah, I did the audio myself, so it's from Suno. So let's see.
This is like so is
Well,
you like playing music in your basement type audio.
yes, my no, if people want to see basement music or hear my basement music, that's a different stream.
I want that.
So nobody wants that. It's terrible. The name of our band is Consistently Poor. We named it that for a reason because we're poor. Anyway, here we go. Is the audio coming through?
The audio is not yet coming through.
Okay.
Oh, one
So
thing. Hold on. We can fix this. If you unshare and
yep.
then once you click share, there's a little like box at the bottom that you have to tick and it'll say, would
Share
you
some.
like,
Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Got it.
we need the music. We need your music.
Okay. It's going to have a restart of Zoom. So I can go without the music. It's just music. So, all right. Are you seeing it at least?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, that was the same piece of paper that I showed. And so here we see the shadow reaching to where these little snow boulders, as I call them, are. And this is the extreme north facing end there, and you can see they're spot on the length that we predicted long before getting there. So the length of the shadow is known based on the geometry of the globe. Quite quite something to be so precise on that, and so it's so much more feeling with the music because the music is so nice, but it's okay. So this took me quite a few hours to set up. I had to get the angles right. I had to get the distances right. In the end, I was shifted about 2-3 centimeters to the west, and you can see I'm a little shy on the touching the edge of that snow there. But on the other side, it's the same amount over. So just the east-west is a bit off in the position, but the length of the shadows is absolutely spot on for what was predicted before going there. Again, I had never been there before. We just passed due south, so it's the sun is in the north as far as high as it gets. And here we're coming around, starting to face the other direction. So this is a 360 camera. It's two lenses facing opposite directions that are stitched together. And you can see this right here is the power cord feeding it the whole time. And so this is the stitch plane here. So it's quite something that I set this up and I walked away and it was totally correct the whole time around. Um, and I had asked flat earthers for quite a while before for their predictions, and I'm stopping the share now, for their predictions for what the sun would do, for how high in the sky it would be, for when it would set, because they thought it would set. I got nothing from flat earthers. No flat earthers had any predictions at all, and so I'm anxious to hear after showing this that the sun did in fact do circles 24 hours a day for multiple days in a row. It never set the entire time. It was well high in the sky. It was at the lowest. It was 77 degrees from zenith. So zenith is straight up. So it was 77 degrees in angular declination from zenith. And at its highest, it was 56 degrees from zenith, as predicted on the globe and as measured in real life, as you watch that video there, because that video is based on those angular elevation measurements. So an awful lot of embedded predictions for the globe in their completely falsifiable test. And if you are familiar with Karl Popper's work, The Logic of Scientific Discovery, specifically chapters 3 and 4, where the essence of doing an experiment is a falsifiable test. That's what I did. I did a falsifiable test for the globe, and it passed, confirming that the Earth is a globe, adding to the mountains of evidence. And I did do some basic rudimentary predictions based on flat Earth for how high or low the sun should be. It did not match. For where the sun should be, east west, for the heading, it did not match. It should be northeast, northwest, and due north, but it wasn't. It was due south at times. So falsified flat Earth. Um, so excellent confirmation of the globe. And so I would say that after this, as well as before this, but definitely after this, flat Earth is not tenable. I'm anxious to hear how this could possibly work using any flat Earth explanation. As Brian's position is, I'm anxious to hear. Certainly, his position is that flat Earth is tenable, and I want to know how it is tenable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that opening, MCToon. Folks, if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, I'm your host, Dr. James Coons. I want to say we hope you feel welcome, no matter what walk of life you're from. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as we have many more debates coming up. And right now in the live chat here at Modern Day Debate on YouTube, we have put a poll in the live chat asking what you think. Is the Earth flat? Is the Earth a globe? Or do you not know? Or are you a self-hating soy boy? With that, we're going to kick it into Brian's opening. Thanks for being with us, Brian. The floor is all yours for your opening as well.
Is Tim finished his opening completely?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to share my screen there. 1 second. Second, I have nothing that's coming up for my screen share for some reason. Desktop.
You'll just want to pick the window so it'll give you like options to choose from.
Yeah, I have, but it's all not showing anything. 1 second. Preview. Maybe I'll try it. 1 second. Opens. 1 second. I have to allow my system settings to do. That's what the problem is. There we go. Because I hadn't used Zoom before. I hadn't given it permissions.
No problem. I'll give you a chance to do that.
Maybe I'll
In
be
the
able to do it
meantime,
now.
folks, if you hadn't yet, hit that like button. We appreciate your support, and many more people will see this debate if you hit like. We do appreciate your support of the channel as well. We'll kick it back over to
I
Brian.
have to quit and reopen this to be able to quit and reopen Zoom to be able to share my screen.
You've been going on those websites I told you not to go on, Brian. All right.
Just give me a minute, I'll be back.
But we are thrilled to have you here, folks. Brian is just going to do a quick renewed login, and we will get that epic PowerPoint up. In the meantime, as you can see at the bottom right of your screen, DebateCon 5, our fifth, technically sixth in-person conference. These have been a hit. We don't want you to miss it, as it's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, this February. In particular, Saturday, the 15th of February, as well as Sunday, the 15th 16th of February. You don't want to miss it. We will have the link for tickets up here at Modern Day Debate shortly. And we are going to have huge debates. For example, let me show you one while we wait for Brian to log back in. I am excited to show you this at the bottom right of your screen. Lawrence Krauss, Dr. Lawrence Krauss, and Inspiring Philosophy on YouTube, aka Mike Jones, will be debating. You don't want to miss it. That's going to be a big one. And Brian just logged back in. So let me just adjust the little windows here. Yeah, I'm glad to have you back, Brian. The floor is all yours.
Thank you. Am I coming in okay? My audio?
Yep, crystal clear.
Yeah, I had to do that there because it's just a Zoom situation. Okay, thank you for the patience.
No problem.
Okay, let me know when you're seeing it.
I see some sort of window from your MacBook, some sort of error window, but otherwise,
Yeah,
I think I can see
should be okay. Is it coming through yet now?
I see a page with a blue button.
I'm having issues with Zoom. I might not be able to share my screen. There's issues with Zoom. It says I'm screen sharing, but it doesn't allow me to. Like I've clicked on the thing I want to share, and it's not sharing it for whatever reason. I'm pressing share. Is there anything coming up yet? Can
No,
you
I
see a
do
map?
see a map. Let's
That's
see.
it. That's what I want to share. Yeah, that's
Ready.
fine. It was just issues with Zoom, just a stupid Zoom. That's what
No
it is.
problem. Ready for you.
Okay. Okay. My very first thoughts on this whole TFE thing. Most people jumped on the fact that it's called the final experiment. Most people jumped on the word experiment. I didn't. I viewed that as purely a red herring because it would be obvious that most flat earthers would jump on that word because it's a claim of an experiment, which it wasn't. It was just an observation. I didn't jump on that. My premise from the start, and it's still my premise, is that the whole point of the TFE is to allow the globe, all the people who support the globe, to hand wave away the past 10 years of utter destruction at the hands of flat earth. We have absolutely decimated these people over the past 10 years. They've produced nothing, not one measurement of the globe, no proof for rotation, no scientific evidence for gravity, no way of showing how gas pressure is possible without a container. There's literally nothing has come our way. Now, all we've gotten mostly is nonsense, right? So the fact that they went to Antarctica and saw a 24-hour sun, that somehow now is supposed to allow these people to just hand wave away all those 10 years of no evidence being produced. And our evidence just got more and more and stronger and stronger and more and stronger and stronger. Yet they produced nothing. Now, there's a claim that this 24-hour sun debunked the AE map. Now, this is the Gleason's projection. It is a calculator, but it is using the AE map, right? The latitude and longitude grid on this is correct. The latitude and longitude grid is a two-dimensional horizontal grid. That's what it is. That's how it's measured from its infancy. That is what is hijacked to turn into a globe. It's hijacked, the measurements of this grid is hijacked and they turn it into a globe. It's where the radius comes from. It's purely mathematical, purely calculation, no measurement whatsoever. And this actual projection here that's underneath it is a globe projection. So the grid is correct, but the projection underneath this is not. Now, this is claimed to have been debunked by the TFE thing in Antarctica. But this was debunked years ago. It was originally debunked with subsolar points in 2015, late 2015 into early 2016. I think it was actually 2015. And it was debunked by time zones, right? Only by me and other people. It's ridiculous. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Between Newcastle on the west coast of Australia and Perth on the east coast of Australia, there is a correct local time of 2 hours. Correct local time is UTC time, and correct local time is winter time. In the summertime, the eastern coast of Australia, most of the places on the eastern coast, like Sydney, Newcastle, big places, they add in an hour for summer, right? But that's not a real hour, right? It's only an add-in. It's daylight savings. The actual correct time between Perth and Sydney, or Perth, I'm going to use Newcastle, because Newcastle is north of Sydney, and Newcastle and Perth are closer to, they're both close to almost exactly on the 32nd degree parallel south. So across that distance, across Australia, the difference in distance between Perth, Newcastle and Perth is only 108 miles less than the distance between Charleston in South Carolina and Long Beach in Southern California. Now, there is correct local time of 3 hours between Charleston and Long Beach, right? But there is a correct local time between Newcastle and Perth of just 2 hours. Yet Charleston and Long Beach are also on the 32nd parallel, but they're on the 32nd latitude north, whereas Newcastle and Perth are on the 32nd parallel south, or latitude south. So how can there be 3 hours of correct local time across America, across basically the same distance, and only 2 hours across Australia, right? Yet they're both on opposing latitudes, right? The only way that's possible is because the Earth is a flat plane, right? That is why that's possible. So what you're seeing here is not a flat Earth projection. That is the globe projection that's stretched out. Sorry, it shows Australia stretched to a massive size that it's not. It has Tahiti and Hawaii in 2 different time zones, because the time zone is 15 degrees of longitude. That's a time zone, right? So Australia between Perth and Newcastle, that section of Australia sits within 30 degrees of longitude. This is a fact, right? There's only one longitude line, one main longitude line, sorry, that intersects the 32nd parallel south between those 2 points, right? The only way that's possible is if the Earth is flat, because if the Earth was a globe, then there would be 3 hours of correct local time between Newcastle and Perth. That's just the way it is. There was no if, buts, no maybes. That's just the way it is. Now, that debunks this projection. It doesn't debunk the latitude longitude grid. It just debunks the projection underneath it. So I don't know what the problem is with this TFE, where people saying it's debunked the AE map. The AE map is a globe projection. It's just flattened out. It's a flattened out globe projection where everything south of the equator and some things north of the equator, but mostly all south of the equator, is all stretched out and manipulated. So if they've debunked anything, they've debunked the globe projection. So I don't see what the problem is. You debunked the globe projection. Grand, that was debunked years ago. But they also, while they were doing that, had to use UTC time within their claims. Do you know what I mean? They had to use UTC time, so they needed a flat Earth to do this. And what Toon just showed a minute ago, that's based off a flat plane. He showed basically a sundial. That's a flat plane. Everything they're doing involves a flat plane. Yet there's nothing that's based off a globe. Everything is based off a flat plane. It's all back calculated onto a globe or into a globe. It's never actually measured on a globe. Now, the next point I want to make is this. On the globe, within the heliocentric globe paradigm, if you see this for the sun to move, it means that you're rotating. So the sun is only appears to move, and the stars only appear to move. The moon is moving because it's orbiting the globe, but the stars and the sun only appear to move within that paradigm. Now, that would mean that it's the only reason they're moving is because you're claimed to be on a rotating body. That is the use of, within the globe paradigm, the use of the Coriolis effect involving the globe Earth. So they're claiming that because you're rotating, it gives you the optical phenomenon that gives you the impression that the sun and the stars are moving when it's actually you that's moving, right? That is the globe paradigm. So they need to see things like 24-hour suns in Antarctica. They need that. Whereas on the flat stationary Earth, which is reality, whatever the sun is doing, if the sun decides to do zigzags tomorrow up in the sky and the stars decide to dance around, it has no bearing on the Earth I stand upon. Because the Earth I stand upon and the stars and the sun are independent of each other. So whatever the sun is doing in Antarctica in December makes no difference to me because it has no connection to the flat stationary plane I live upon. It only has a connection to the globe. So all this actually was a confirmation bias for the globe. That's all it actually did. It gave confirmation bias. It doesn't prove a globe and it doesn't disprove a flat plane. It's a nothing burger from my perception, or in my opinion. it's a complete nothing burger. It does no proof in it of anything. The only thing it would have done is if they didn't see it, then it would have disproved the globe, because they have to see it. They have to see that on a globe. Whereas over a flat stationary plane, it means I don't know what the sun is. I don't know how it does what it does. Nobody knows those things. People just try to say they do, but when you look into it, they don't know, right? The whole thing is a mystery. We just, unfortunately, people who follow the heliocentric globe paradigm, they want to pretend to themselves and to others that they have these answers that they don't actually have. Right, so if someone wants to believe they're on a globe and they believe that's why they see the sun doing whatever it's doing in the sky, that's fine. But that's not reality, right? Whatever the sun does is independent, completely independent of the Earth, right? That is the end of that. There's no if, buts, or maybes. This whole 24-hour Antarctica sun thing, it's a nothing burger. Sorry, were you going to say something to me there?
Oh yeah, I thought you were just wrapping up your opening. I give you
how much time have I got left out of 10 minutes?
Well, if you want to keep it the same as MCToon, because MCToon prepared expecting that he would only have 5 minutes.
Oh, I did message you and say that he could take 10 if he wanted. Afterwards.
Sure, MCToon.
So I don't mind. I don't mind if you'll leave it go now. We just go straight into questions. I don't care.
Well, I think we should go to the discussion, since he hasn't addressed the topic even, and it sounds like he's not going to.
Well, there's nothing to address.
Then why did you agree to this?
Are
you confused? Are you in the wrong place, Brian?
I just addressed.
I do this.
I just actually addressed. That's a hand
wave. I have to mute both of you guys at the same time. I just have to make sure that there's peace and order. So what we're gonna do is, Brian, I can give you another minute for your opening, and then we want to jump into the open dialogue. Because to be fair, MCToon was expecting that he'd only have 5 minutes, and then like an hour or something before the debate was when you said, like, actually he can have longer than that. So I can't remember how long MCToon had to like re-prepare, but I'll give you a chance to wrap up, Brian. I just clicked ask to unmute, so you should be able to speak now.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make it very simple then. The Toon said the globe predicts this and the globe predicts that. The globe is an inanimate belief. That's all it is. If you want to say it's an inanimate object in a classroom. It doesn't make predictions. It can't make predictions. It's not a sentient being. So asking about predictions is ridiculous. It's not a prediction. It can't make a prediction. It doesn't have a consciousness. That's a ridiculous question. And the state that I didn't address anything is a complete hand wave of what I said. Now, thank you. I'll unshare my screen.
Thank you very much for that opening as well. Folks, want to let you know, we're going to have a short debate relative to our usual 3 or 4 hour debate. Tonight's only going to be about 2 hours, so do be sure to get your question in as soon as possible. If you happen to have one, you can submit questions either via tagging me at Modern Day Debate in the Modern Day Debate live chat, or if you submit a super chat, that will push your question to the top of the list. And
all right. Well, I never claimed that the globe was sentient. It's the globe model is what makes predictions. It's a fundamental part of science, is having a model. You make predictions on it. I didn't claim proof. I claimed confirmation. That's what you can do in science. There's no such thing as proof in science. You can confirm or falsify. And so I falsified the flat Earth in this because the flat Earth requires that the sun does certain things, and it didn't do those certain things. So, Brian, can I ask you, do you think that there is a 24-hour?
I would like to address what you just said there, Tim.
Do you think that there's a 24-hour circling sun in the north?
Sorry, could I address what you just said there, please?
No. Do you think there's a 24-hour circling sun in the north?
I will address that. You're after just making claims there now that need to be addressed. So if you're going to make claims that need to be addressed, expect them to be addressed.
All right, I'll hold this up so everybody can see.
If you wanted to just ask me a question,
what I'm talking about,
then you should have just asked me a question, but you didn't. You made claims, so now I have to address them. There is no such thing as a globe model. The globe model doesn't exist.
Well, I used it to make predictions.
You're claiming a scientific model. A scientific model is based off of proven hypotheses that have been proven through a scientific method. Now, the globe model that you're claiming is not a model. There is no globe model. It doesn't exist, right? Sorry, is there some reason why you're ignoring me?
Is there some reason why you're making
Sorry, is there
stupid
some reason why
claims?
you're ignoring me?
I
Because you
used
asked
the
for
globe
somebody to
model.
come and debate you.
I used the globe model was
sorry,
used to
you
produce
asked,
this.
You asked, that's a flat earth. You just showed flat earth there.
Brian,
Your
the globe
elevation
model was
angle.
used to produce
Sorry,
this, Brian.
all right,
Are you
is there some
ignorant of
reason?
this?
Is there some reason?
Gentlemen.
That's not a scientific model. Whatever you're
I
showing there
don't
is not
care
a
what you
scientific
say
model.
about it, Brian. I used
That's
the
not a
globe model
scientific
to
model.
produce this.
You don't know what a scientific model is, Tim.
Brian, I don't care what your stupid
Now,
opinion is about.
excuse me, is there some reason?
games.
Is there some reason?
Brian,
I hate to do this. I just muted you guys because I do need to have order. So, reminder beforehand, everybody agreed we're going to talk about whether or not flat Earth is still tenable after the final experiment. So, just to be sure we're on track on that topic, and then I can give you about 30 seconds more, Brian, and then we'll kick it over to MCToon. I asked you to unmute.
Thank you, James.
Brian.
Thank you, James. Yeah, listen, I would have just answered whatever question he had to answer, but he decided to make some claims there that aren't correct. Right? He's claiming a scientific model, which his globe is not. He doesn't have a globe model. He's claiming science. He has not. There is no way for him to insert natural science into what he's claiming. And what he's showing there is on his page is not natural science. That would be measurements or whatever. So no. Now, if he wants to ask the question now, we'll go ahead. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
now let's
Well,
give
this isn't measurements.
MCToon a full 1 minute. Go ahead, MCToon.
Yeah, this isn't measurements. This is predictions based on the globe model. So I 100% employed, or Janusz employed the globe model to produce this. So saying there isn't a globe model is a very bad look for you because that's how this was produced. And then it was tested and it was confirmed and it matched reality. So do go ahead and continue to make that assertion. If you want, Brian, it's a ridiculous look.
Okay,
It'll only win points in
I'll
your
address
echo
that
chamber,
then, will I?
but outside your echo chamber, people will just laugh at you.
I'm here now, and you're not allowing me to address that. So you just showed something there, and you said it was a globe model and predictions off a globe model. No, there is no globe model. What that is a prediction of what will be seen as the sun circles over a flat plane. Because what you're showing there is flat plane measurements, and it is a measurement of 360 degrees over time.
All right, well,
So it's not scientific. It's not part of the scientific model.
You made a claim, Brian. I will anxiously await for you to show how this prediction was made based on
not a prediction.
Flat plane.
It's
Yes,
not
it
a
is.
prediction.
This is 100% a prediction.
It's not a
All this was
prediction.
done ahead of time. The
It's
sun
not a
will, the
prediction.
shadow will be at this
Has
angle,
it been seen
and
before?
the shadow will be this length.
Has
That's
it
a
been
prediction.
seen before?
No, it's never been seen before.
What, the 24-hour Antarctic sun?
This particular
So the 24-hour Antarctic sun has never been seen
observation
before.
here that we predicted.
That's not a scientific prediction.
Brian,
That's
this
not a
was never
scientific
seen
prediction.
before, Brian. Nobody
It's a
ever stood
measurement.
in that
It's
spot.
not a scientific prediction.
Nobody ever stood in that spot before and measured the
Ever. How do you
length
know?
of the shadow.
How do you know that? Validate that.
Do you think that somebody did this and we just stole
I don't
it from
need you
them?
laughing at me. I
You
need you
idiot.
to validate what you said.
This was never
You just
done
said
before.
nobody has ever done
Gentlemen,
that before.
gentlemen.
Nobody's ever
Okay, I
done
gotta
this
jump
before,
in.
Brian.
All right, we're going to go back to the 1 minute intervals. Brian, we'll give you a minute. Then we're going to go to MCToon.
Okay. What he's holding up there, he's calling a prediction. He said no one else ever did this before. He had no validation for any of that. It's not a scientific prediction, which was his original claim. So someone might have predicted the shadows would be this length if the sun is here or the sun is here. Grand, I'm okay with that, but it's not a scientific prediction. Okay, off he goes. Thank you.
Okay, let's
All right, well,
give
thank
MCToon
you.
a full minute.
Got it. Thank
So
you,
don't
Brian, for
interrupt.
completely failing to supply the evidence of your point that you said it was based on flat Earth. I know how Janusz did this. I wrote my own program to do this as well, got the same numbers. He has a program that he used to output that same numbers. So I know how it was done. It was based on the sphere. It was not based on a flat plane. You asserted that was based on a flat plane. So please produce your evidence that it was based on a flat plane.
So you weren't using the surface of Earth or mathematically the equatorial plane of the globe. Did you hear my question?
That's not a question. That was an assertion. I'm waiting for you to
So I'm
supply-
asking you.
So-
So
no,
you're saying
I'm waiting for you to
support
your claim.
Your hand wave it
Hold
away.
on
Brian,
a second.
So you're
I do
support
want to
your
just,
claim.
I want to be clear that if you guys ask each other questions, you're basically ceding the rest of your time, because each time we try to do open dialogue, it just immediately spirals off of the track. So if you ask a question, I have to give them the full minute. Brian, I think, refresh me, MCToon, what was the question that you just asked? And we'll give Brian a chance to answer it. Brian, I think I should even say, too, Brian, if you want to just tell us, like, are you wanting to answer it? Are you willing to answer it? And then answer it if you are. Otherwise, just say no and make your new point. But we just have to know, like, if you're trying to answer MCToon's question. So, MCToon, can you rephrase the question for Brian?
Yeah, I'm asking him to supply the evidence for his claim that that I know how was produced from a flat plane, and it's over to him to support his claim.
Brian, do you want to engage with what MCToon just said? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, I'll engage with it. I'll do it a little bit different.
Well, when you say yes, but, I'm just like, okay, well, just yes is like, what's the but for? Just go ahead, respond.
He's got to avoid my question to him. It doesn't matter. I just
Are you
answer
going to
accordingly.
respond to MCToon? What he just
I'm trying
asked?
to respond, but
You're talking about him in some previous question you asked. Go ahead,
Yeah,
respond to what
because
MCToon
he didn't.
asked Brian.
Okay. Well, are you going to allow me to do this, or what's the story?
Now's your chance, Brian. What are you waiting for?
Well, you keep saying that, but you keep on talking when I'm speaking. So can I speak? Yes?
I mean, since
okay,
I'm
I'll
not
go ahead with
talking,
it.
I'd
I'll take
imagine
that as
that
a
was
yes.
implied, Brian.
I'll take that as a yes. So, Toon, are you claiming that you didn't use the flat surface of Earth or calculate it on the equatorial plane of a globe?
Okay, to be fair, it sounds like are you
He can't answer the
answering
question.
MCToon's, are you responding to what MCToon just said, or asking,
I am. It's
raising
a
a new
direct
question?
response. It was my response earlier. I just need to get clarification because he's asked me to support that my claim that what he showed happened over a flat plane. Now I've asked him, right? Did he do it on the surface of Earth and or use it from a calculatory standpoint at the equatorial plane of a globe? Because he's claiming he didn't use a flat plane and a flat plane wasn't used. And I'm looking for an answer to that.
I don't have the burden of proof, Brian. You made the claim, not me.
And I'm asking you, you said it's not done on a flat plane, right? That means you're claiming you didn't use elevation angles. Are you claiming you didn't use elevation angles?
My God, Brian, could you answer your damn
Are you claiming
question?
you didn't use elevation angles? It's that simple, Tim.
Come on, Brian.
Are you claiming you didn't
support your claim, buddy? Can't support it? Run off. Scamper away.
What's the elevation of the sun measured?
Scamper away, buddy.
Yes, so the elevation of the sun was measured. That means you use the horizontal plane. Do you want me to?
You want me to
get a photograph of an elevation?
I want you to produce the map.
Do you want me to
that outputs this?
Do you want me? This is originally what you claimed to be.
I hate to do this. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to bring us to a new topic because it seems like this is like a hamster spinning on a wheel. It gives you something to do, but we're not getting anywhere. So we'll jump into something from the final experiment that MCToon that you mentioned in your opening. Is there anything in particular like, hey, Brian, I would love your answer on this? I'll give you a chance, MCToon.
My primary thing was the shadow lengths, which are 100% based on a globe. And Brian has asserted that he knows how I did it, even though he doesn't seem to know how I did it, claiming that it was done some other way than I know how I did it. So that was the primary thing. But I guess we could get to this then, Brian. One question then. Do you agree that there's a 24-hour circling sun in the north?
Okay, Brian, I asked you to unmute, so.
Are you talking about in June around the Arctic? Toon?
Yeah, if you can't figure that out, then you're clearly not tall enough to ride.
Sorry, look, James.
You're not tall enough to ride.
Sorry, James. I need to sort something out here, right? My opponent is doing his best not to clarify simple little things, right? I'm asking him a very straight, simple clarification, and he's unwilling to do it. What is wrong? Why are you unwilling to, give small clarifications? Toon. Excuse me, Toon, you ask for someone to come and debate you here, and you think that it's okay to just ignore the person that's debating you?
I think, Brian, I think he thinks
It's
that you
because
might
he's
be.
just being an a-hole.
Hold on, hold on.
There's no if,
I
buts, or
think
maybes
that.
about
Hold
it.
on a second. I think
He
he's
doesn't
just
have any
thinking.
evidence
Okay,
for
Brian.
anything.
When I say hold on, why do you think that means continue talking? Is I think he thinks that you're trolling or that you don't like that you're trying to purposely lead off topic. I'll let MCToon speak for himself, but if you can state it one more time, MCToon, we'll give Brian a chance to respond.
Well, if he's not smart enough to understand what I say, 24-hour circling sun in the north, then he's not smart enough to engage in this debate.
That's an ad-hom. All I asked, James, all I asked was a clarification question. That's all. And
And what was
my
your
opponent was
clarification
unwilling to
question?
give it.
What
Sorry,
was
is
your
my opponent willing to give the clarification? Because
what was
what my opponent asked, James, he said, do I agree that there's a 24-hour sun in the north? Now, that's a vague question. He didn't clarify, he didn't say, do you agree that in June, around the Arctic, that there's a 24-hour sun? If he had said that, I would have said, yeah, I agree. All he had to do was give a bit of clarification.
So, all right,
but he's
we just got
making it as difficult as
we got your
possible.
answer. MCToon, any response?
Yes, in June, Brian. That's when the 24-hour circling sun happens in the north, Brian.
Yeah, you just said north. North of what? In the north. North of what? You didn't clarify what you're talking about. I asked you for clarification, just to make sure, just to steel man your question, to make sure that I knew exactly what you're asking. Because I'm not answering questions if I don't know exactly what's being asked.
As an outsider, MCToon, do I understand right? When you say north, you mean like the North Pole region?
Yes.
Okay, I think
this
that's what
is
he.
this is
Brian, I think that's
elementary
what he
school type
means.
stuff.
I'm an outsider, Brian. I don't know anything about these topics, but I think it's pretty obvious he means like the North Pole region.
And do you think it's unfair of me to ask clarification on his question before I answer it?
I think it's fair as long as it's within reason. So I think that when you say north of what, he's talking about the northernmost point. So like the most northern point of the planet. So you could say north of everything that is south of it. The North
Yeah,
Pole.
well,
Let's say
I'll
he's
always
referring
ask
to the North Pole.
clarification questions. Nearly all the time I'll ask clarification questions because I want to know exactly what my opponent is asking me. Because there's no point me answering a question.
1 mile
But there's no
radius of the
point me
North Pole.
answering a question, James. There's no point me answering a question, right, if I'm just presuming what the question is.
I think we've already identified what MC2 meant. Like, let's say a 1 mile radius around the North Pole. That area.
Yeah, I agree. There's a 24-hour sun in the north. Yeah, North Pole, up around the Arctic, Yeah. What's the problem? Everyone agrees to that. No one ever disagreed with that. Why are you even asking me that? The fact that you're asking me that, like,
well,
like,
who
disagrees with that?
Go ahead, MC2, you can answer why you're asking him that if you can draw out the.
Do you? I'll give you more details since you probably will struggle to answer this without. Do you agree that there is a 24-hour sun
James,
south of the Antarctic Circle
from my opponent
between? Hold on, you can't talk over me, Brian. I'm going to have to hold your hand for this.
On me, you don't mean
Brian,
anything to me.
Do you want me to fully explain everything, or do you want me to just ask you a question that a normal person can answer, Brian?
Okay, I hate to mute you both. In terms of the actual question, I'll give you a chance to quick re-say it just to refresh everybody's memory. MCToon, and then we'll get what is it? Brian'sLogic a chance to respond. So the specific question, MCToon, if you want to let it rip.
All right, Brian. South of the Antarctic Circle, during the Southern Hemisphere's summer, do you agree that there is a 24-hour circling sun?
Within your paradigm? within your paradigm. As in, you
Within
said
reality.
hemisphere. You said hemisphere.
In
Oh,
reality.
well, there's no hemispheres in reality.
I didn't say hemisphere.
You did
I
say
said south of the Antarctic
hemisphere.
Circle.
You said the word hemisphere. Yeah, you did.
Cool.
They don't exist in reality.
Okay, don't care. South of the Antarctic
I
Circle.
do care.
Fine, dummy. In December.
Sorry, that's an ad hom.
You damn idiot. You're so stupid,
No, that's
Brian.
another ad hom.
During December, on December 21st, do you agree that in reality there exists a 24-hour circling sun south of the Antarctic Circle, you moron?
There's another ad hom. James,
yes,
this is not ad hom.
All well earned, Brian. You're too stupid to understand this topic. It's way over your head.
When your opponent hasn't proven it.
It's an... I
hate to do this. You guys certainly have chemistry. Okay, so what we want to do here is, one, oh man, it just drives me crazy. I agree that MCToon is using personal attacks. That's not the same thing as an ad hom. I'm sorry, so many of you, both in live chat and so many people sound like damn fools when they say, ad hom, ad hom. And ad hom is when you insult a person as a means of like tying it back to their argument and saying therefore their argument is not any good. If you just call someone a dummy, it's just a personal attack. It's not an ad hominem. It's just, so stop trying to sound smart by talking about logical fallacies when you don't even know what they are, whether it be people in chat or it's just embarrassing when people do this. They amazingly. All right, we'll give you a chance.
Sorry, you're now ad homing me, James.
Oh, I'm ad homing
because you're attacking the person, not the argument. You're attacking the person, not the argument. Now, that's what Toon was doing as well. All personal attacks within a debate that are personal attacks within a debate that are not addressing the argument are ad homs.
I'm sorry. If you look up the actual definition, an ad hom is when you tie it back to their argument to try to undermine their argument. He's using personal attacks. I agree. MCToon,
no.
If you want to ask your question, I mean, like Google it. This isn't hard. It really is.
Look, James, it's very simple, right? It's very simple. I've tried to be nice here, but it's not working, right? It's very simple. All my opponent has to do is keep the personal attacks out of it. I'll call them personal attacks because you don't like me using the word ad hom, right? All he has to do is keep them out of it and ask me the question. And if I ask a clarifying question, all he has to do is answer the clarifying question. He doesn't have to be an a-hole about it. It's that simple. So if you work that out with him, everything will be much smoother here.
Okay. Let's go back to the question from MCToon, and we'll give you a chance to answer James. Or Brian.
Brian. All right. I asked the question. Does he need me to remind him of the question?
Well, the question has been lost in translation now.
All right. On December 21st, south of the Antarctic Circle, do you agree that there is a 24-hour circling sun?
I agree that I saw a video that shows that looks like there's a 24-hour Antarctic sun. That's from people who are claimed to be, including you, claimed to be in Antarctica. I don't know what Antarctica is. I've never been there. I don't know what it is in its entirety. All I can say is I've seen a video. So it doesn't make any difference to me. I just go with, yeah, sure, whatever. Because it makes no difference to me because there's no connection to the flat stationary plane we live upon.
All right. Now, what model can account for that?
Model? None of us have a model.
Oh, I have a model.
That's not a model.
I got one right here.
That's not a model. It's not a scientific model.
Sure it is. It's a model.
It's not a scientific model.
I can use it. I can use it to also to do all sorts of things.
That's a calculation. That's a back calculation of flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris.
No,
that's what that is. Yes, it is.
This entire portion of the Earth can't even see
Polaris.
then
please produce your radius. Where is the origins of your radius?
I measured it myself.
Please produce the origins of. Please produce the origins of your radius of this globe.
I was answering.
Sorry. Please produce the origins of the radius.
I was answering. You didn't want me to answer because you interrupted. I personally measured the radius of the Earth while I was in Antarctica at local solar midnight, 2:37 a.m. I measured the length of a shadow to get the angle to the sun from zenith.
That's flat out.
That's flat out. I'm talking.
Just use the flat plane. That's not the radius of the globe.
Brian,
that's stupid.
Do you want me to call you an idiot again, Brian?
Stop You're an idiot if you think that's a measurement of a globe.
Brian, stop.
Okay, let's go back to the actual dialogue. So we're going to give you guys a chance. We're going to do a little reset here. Nobody's an idiot, okay? Everyone is a intelligent person. So here we go. MC
My
Toon, you were
opponent's
asking a
not.
question.
Say that again, James.
MC Toon, you were asking, what's your question that you were asking Brian? MC Toon, Melvin, as you like to be called. I'm clicking ask to unmute. This is your chance.
All right, hold on. I'm drawing a diagram for him since he's made claims. I'd like to see him support his claims by showing the
No,
geometry.
you've made claims. You claim to use an angle to
Shush,
measure the radius
Brian.
of a globe.
Okay.
A globe out. You can't
All
use an
right.
angle.
Okay,
That
James,
would
let's
measure
relax.
or an
I'll
elevation
take a
angle.
Let's
break.
relax. I hate to do this. Brian, just how this? I'm just gonna let MC Toon draw out his whiteboard illustration, and I think MC Toon feels like you're taunting him as he's trying to draw it out. He just wants to finish his illustration. He'll show you, and we'll have a nice little time here. Brian Peck, thanks for your super chat question. And yeah, we will have probably only about a 2 hour little debate tonight. So probably only roughly an hour left, as we do want to make sure that we can get Brian out of here at a decent hour. Because right now, Brian is streaming from Moscow out in Russia. So that's
Ireland.
impressive. And I made that up, but he is in Europe.
All right.
And we do want to make sure he gets out of here at a decent time. So MC Toon, I'll give you a chance to finish your illustration. And in the meantime, folks, we do appreciate if you like tonight's bloodbath, if you like blood sports when it comes to scientific debates, we do appreciate your likes. Also, I want to be clear, when Modern Day Debate has debates, we don't encourage the debaters to be unruly. I actually asked the debaters both tonight before we went live. I was like, listen, guys, I'm sick. I'm tired. Do me a favor and like, let's have it be as friendly as possible. But, it's organic here. So, like, if it is going to be unruly, like, we just let it fly. Because if every debate is like nice and happy and peaceful, and it's like only because me, the moderator, told the debaters that they have to be that way, that'd be kind of lame, right? It's kind of like, well, it's not like it's genuine, right? So, yeah, it is a little bit Jerry Springer sometimes, but uh, at least it's real. At least it's authentic. And we'll give MC Toon a chance to explain his illustration. And MC Toon, thanks very much. The floor is yours.
Have you any music you can play, James, or anything while we're waiting for this?
I think he's done. So he just threw his pen down. I think that's the sign. So MC Toon, I just asked you to unmute. If you want to share about what your illustration means. MC
All right.
Toon, we're having a
Yeah,
debate. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, this is a great opportunity to explain your illustration to your
All right.
brother, Brian.
All right. So this is what I did when I measured the angle. You'll see here is the globe. Here is the line to the sun. Here is zenith. I measured 77 degrees from zenith at local solar midnight. So please show me where here is a flat Earth elevation angle.
Yeah, okay. I'll very simply show it. This is something that people on your side constantly don't get. See the zenith angle that you're showing there? You know that a zenith angle is an elevation angle, just read the opposite way. A zenith angle has a vertical and a horizontal. Did you not know that?
So that's 77. Zenith is only straight.
A zenith angle. No, a zenith angle. I corrected. I corrected a globe Earth math. Sorry, Charles flat Earth math. On this, I corrected other people on it. I showed it with citation. Right, even from surveying. No, a zenith angle is from the vertical, right from the vertical to the horizontal, whereas an elevation is right from the horizontal to the vertical. What you're doing there is trying to not add in the horizontal. You've just proven my point.
You completely missed. You missed the part where you showed where this was flat.
What would that be? What would that be? That would be a 23-degree elevation.
Where's the flat, Brian?
It's the flat. This is not flat. 77
is not
degrees
flat,
of what,
Brian.
Tune? 77
This is-
degrees of what?
This is
From
departure
what?
from
What's
zenith.
that 77 degrees taken from? What
It's
is
a
it
departure
subtracted
from
from?
zenith, Brian.
So what is it subtracted from?
Subtracted from zenith.
No, it's subtracted from 90. You're a lawyer.
So Brian,
You just lied.
where's the
You
flat
just
here?
lied.
All
It's
those
not
all these
subtracted from a
semantic games,
zenith.
Brian.
That's a lie.
Where's flat?
You
Where's
just
the flat?
lied. You just
Where's
lied.
the flat, Brian?
You just lied. Do you want me?
Where's the
Do I
flat?
have to get a citation for it?
Show me where the flat is, Brian. Where's the flat?
It's the
Right
line
here.
you didn't draw. It's the 23 degrees elevation angle.
But how will that, Brian? How will that change the shape
It's the
of
20
this?
because see that circle that doesn't exist in reality.
Well, so you say, but that's what I used.
What you're going to do is you're going to measure from the vertical to the horizontal, right? 77 degrees down, which is a 23-degree elevation angle, 77-degree zenith angle, right? You're then going to have to place that at the equatorial plane of the globe, and you're going to have to place it there at, if you're going to do it correctly, you're going to have to do it at vernal equinox. And at vernal equinox, the equatorial plane of the globe extends out into the celestial plane, giving you a much huger plane, and it's deemed that the celestials are moving and you're stationary. So what you're actually referring to is a massive stationary plane, and you don't even know it.
Nowhere on here.
You don't even know what you don't even know what a
Brian.
zenith angle is. You
All right,
don't
my
even
turn
know
to
what a
talk.
zenith angle
My
is.
turn to talk, dummy.
You don't even know what a zenith
Hey,
angle
idiot!
is.
My turn to talk, dummy.
No, you're the idiot.
Hey,
you don't
idiot.
even know. You don't
Hey,
even know what the
stupid
77
moron!
degrees
My
is
turn to
from.
talk. You don't understand
What is the
geometry. I
77
get to talk
degrees
now.
from?
I
What is
get
the
to start
77
talking now,
degrees from?
Brian. All right, James. It's
What's
been
it
great,
subtracted
James.
from?
It's been great,
James, would I be able to please ask a
I'm gonna
question that I
jump
can get
in
an answer
here
to?
just
Gonna
to
be great.
restore order. So we do want to have a civil dialogue, of course. We can give you a quick chance to respond, Brian. This is about 30 seconds, but when you guys are talking over each other, it kind of defeats the purpose, of course, because then we can't hear either of you if you're both talking at the same time. So if you'd like 30 seconds, I'll give you a chance. Brian, what have you got with, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. What is the 77 degrees subtracted from? That was my question. He's yet to answer it.
MCToon, let me know if you're able to speak or if you're stuck on mute. I can't tell. I just clicked ask to unmute.
All right. Just a second here. I'm going to share my screen. All right, you got that?
Yep.
All right, make sure the idiot doesn't interrupt me. So here is Euclid's Elements.
1 second. Sorry, before you start.
Oh, geez, the idiot interrupted me instantly.
You guys
James.
are trolling each other. Okay, hold on. Okay. Brian, we'll give you a chance to insult MCToon.
No, I'm not. It's not insult. I asked the question. I was very straightforward. I told you what my question was, James.
But hold on.
You
Okay,
asked.
I do. Okay, I do. MCToon was about to speak, and then I know that he insulted.
James, I asked the question. How come it's not being
Brian,
answered?
I would just let me. Just
You
you
asked.
How are you unmuting yourself?
James. You asked me.
Okay, wait.
I have to do this, James.
Brian, you're being so inappropriate.
You're not giving me a choice.
Brian, I'm muting you.
So my question was.
Brian, relax. MCToon needs a chance to make his case. I know he insulted you, and we'll give you a chance to insult him back, but let's just give him like 30 seconds. MCToon, please continue. I know you're trying to troll your brother,
right.
Brian, by calling him an idiot before launching into this.
Yeah, I mean, he answered the call, didn't he? It was a siren song. I said that word, and he just jumped right in, just volunteering. Anyway, here is
your little argument. Okay.
Here is Euclid's Elements, Book 3, Proposition 18. If a straight line touches a circle and a straight line is joined from the center to the point of contact, the straight line so joined will be perpendicular to the tangent. So there's the diagram. I'll zoom in on this a little bit here. This is basic geometry. There is such thing as a tangent to a circle, something that Brian is rejecting exists in reality. This does exist in reality. It is part of Euclidean geometry. It's been part of Euclidean geometry for over 2,000 years. He pretends it doesn't exist. Now you look at that diagram, and then this is beautiful. Look at my diagram here. Do you see my diagram? Do you see the similarity? You see what's happened here? So now Brian is pretending that there doesn't exist such a thing as a tangent to a circle. And he imagines in his little fantasy world that this line here makes this stop existing. But in reality, it does exist. So the fact is that you can have a zenith, and you can have 90 from the zenith, call it what you want, I call it the complement. And then you can have the 77 degrees, which is the departure from the zenith. Now, he is asserting through magic and through words and through hocus pocus and some secret incantations that the fact that this tangent line exists somehow makes this stop existing. And so I'd like to hear how he thinks that magical incantation happens in reality.
So the tangent line that's just being placed in there is what's known as a begging the question fallacy. The tangent line that he's trying to claim as a tangent is the horizontal that is used to measure his zenith angle or an elevation angle from that. So he's just proven my point. I don't even have to do anything. Well done, Tim. You absolute genius. I'm fully aware of what a tangent is, but for you to claim that the angle that you're measuring on Earth is a tangent to a globe is begging the question. That is idiotic stupidity, confirmation bias.
So once again, all he's done is assert that this geometry doesn't exist.
No, I never asserted that. That's a complete straw man. That's stupid straw man nonsense. I never asserted any of that. Anyone can hear what I just said and what you just said, which is a total lie. You just totally lied.
You're saying that I can't do it on a globe.
You just told a big lie.
Brian, you're saying this isn't possible on a globe.
Just lie. You just said that I denied the existence of tangents in geometry. I never did.
No. So is it possible?
Nobody's denying the existence of tangents.
Brian, is it possible to do this on a globe?
Nobody is denying that. You're just
Brian, shush, Brian.
The tangent, what you're calling a tangent, is the horizontal you denied earlier.
Is this possible to do?
You thought you didn't need a horizontal for a zenith angle. That shows what you know about geometry. You're a bozo. And that's not an atom. That's just a fact.
So now an insult is not an atom. Okay. But
that's not an insult. He's demonstrated that. He demonstrated that, James, what he just did. And what he's shown with geometry. He didn't realize the zenith angle.
He won't let me talk, James.
I want to give MCToon a chance to respond.
1 minute, back and forth. That's the only way it's going to work. He's too stupid to shut his face hole.
We've got it set for 1 minute. MCToon.
So, all right. Brian has asserted, it seems, that it is impossible on a globe to do this. Right? Of course, so then he somehow comes back and says that it's possible to have a tangent line. Okay, it is possible to have a tangent line. Super, Brian. I'm glad you agree it's possible to have a tangent line. So it's possible to do this on a globe, you've said. So you changed from your previous position of saying that it's not possible to have an elevation angle from a globe and that it can only be on a flat surface to now you've said it's possible to have an elevation angle on the surface of a globe by referencing the tangent line. So thank you very much for acknowledging that it's possible and that it's not exclusive to a flat plane.
Okay, can I respond to that, James?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Now, I didn't say any of those things. What I said was that he was claiming the horizontal was a tangent to a sphere, which is begging the question fallacy. Now, if he's saying it's a tangent to a circle, then it can be a horizontal because a circle is two-dimensional. But if he's claiming it's a tangent to a sphere, then there is no horizontal. Horizontal doesn't exist on a sphere. There is no horizontal because you can't determine what is horizontal because each point can have another tangent to it. So all he did with his drawing and whatever claim measurement he did in Antarctica was beg the question. He used the horizontal. Because in reality, horizontal exists. It just doesn't exist within his paradigm.
All right, let's give MCToon a chance to respond for a minute, uninterrupted as well.
Yeah, of course, horizontal does exist on a sphere. Horizontal is orthogonal to vertical. It's the plane that's horizontal to vertical. I don't know why you'd think that that's a problem at all. It's not. And of course, what I'm drawing here is this is a bisection of the sphere on a plane. I can't draw on 2 dimensions a 3-dimensional object. This is a simplification of it for the diagram. So yeah, so this is vertical, and then this is a portion of the plane that we're seeing here that's horizontal at this point, which is orthogonal to this zenith angle. This zenith, it's actually a ray.
Brian, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll respond to that, James, if you don't mind. Yeah, you can't have vertical or horizontal on a sphere because there's no reference for either. You need horizontal for the vertical to be 90 degrees to. You can have a 90-degree angle to a tangent, if you like, but it won't. You can't claim it's horizontal and vertical because you don't have any reference. Horizontal and vertical. Horizontal is a constant orientation. All horizontals are parallel to each other, and all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. And all lines meeting that horizontal, that creates 90 degrees of verticals. You can't have those on a sphere. All verticals are parallel to each other, all horizontals are parallel to each other. On a sphere, each point along that sphere can be a new tangent point. So which of the 2 points has the horizontal? None of them. Which of the 2 points has verticals to those horizontals? None of them, because there is no horizontals. You don't understand geometry.
There aren't 2 points. There's only 1 point here. It's on there.
Yeah, but you can put another point on there.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
So it doesn't mean anything.
Stop
talking. You can't even
talking.
get an angle between them.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
I won't.
I need to moderate this, you idiot. Shut up.
Okay, we're going to give MCToon a chance to respond.
The hell is wrong with you, Brian? You child.
All right.
All of the insults that I've given you, you've earned.
Let's give MCToon a chance. So MCToon, you got a minute, and then we'll kick it over to Brian for a minute.
All right. Easy. 1 point. I only had 1 point. Right here. The 1 point, not 2 points. 1 point. 1 point. Just 1 point, Brian. Just one, Brian, you little child. Anyway, 1 point right here is all we got. And we do have a reference, the downward vector we have. So that downward vector is a line, and orthogonal to that line is the horizontal plane. Now, let me get back to the actual topic here, which is the what we did in Antarctica. The 24-hour circling sun. No, James? Shut up. Shut up.
Okay. Can I respond?
We do have
shut up.
But we said we were going to give MCToon a full minute. So I do have to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to uncheck the box. Okay, here we go. So it is going to be, because it's basically, unfortunately, it's gotten so off the rails that now I'll have to like click a button to let you unmute yourself too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give MCToon a chance to finish his 30 seconds or so, and then we'll go over to you, Brian. MCToon, go ahead.
All right. Anyway, covered this. Now back to the point of the whole debate here is the fact that we saw the 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica, and you have not yet provided a model of any sort for flat Earth where it could possibly be tenable. And that is the topic that you agreed to a debate, which is the topic that you are aggressively avoiding touching.
All right. We're going to give Brian a chance to respond. I'm going to mute MCToon to be fair, even Stevens. So that way MCToon can't tell any dirty jokes as Brian is speaking. So go ahead, Brian, you have your chance.
Thank you, James. Yeah, first of all, Toon used the term down. There is no down or up on a sphere. There is into the center or out from the surface. Down and up are only in relation to a horizontal plane. Horizontal planes do not exist on a sphere. That's number one. Number two, I agreed to a debate, and it was from Will Duffy's video. The topic was, from his video, was, is flat Earth tenable after the TFE in Antarctica? Right? That was right. That's what I came in. So I don't know what Toon just said there. That's not what I don't know what that's about. But I came in to debate that topic. That's what I came in here to debate. So what Toon just said there is a misrepresentation of what Will Duffy stated on his video. And oh yeah,
like
sorry,
MCToon.
I forgot. I meant to address. Yeah, I don't claim a model. None of us do have models. Thank you, James.
Okay, it looks like MCToon is Santa. He's stroking his Santa Claus figurine over there. MCToon will give you a chance to respond. You got a full minute.
All right. Well, I did say exactly the same thing that Brian did. Is flat Earth tenable after the final experiment? That is the topic that Brian agreed to. And it is the topic that Brian is aggressively avoiding talking about. So once again, I will simply say, after seeing the 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica. And he has already agreed that there is a 24-hour circling sun at the North Pole at some point in the year. What possible flat Earth explanation is there that makes it tenable? Thank you.
I don't make any claims about the sky, about what the sun is or how it does what it does. I couldn't even prove there's only one of them. I don't know what the sky is. It's an absolute mystery. No one does. I did address this in my opening, if you remember. I said that the flat stationary plane we stand upon is completely independent from the celestial bodies, whereas within the globe paradigm, that is not true. The movement of the celestial bodies within the globe paradigm, save for obviously Polaris doesn't move and the moon does, basically the stars and the sun, they only appear to move within that paradigm. So they are connected to the globe and its movement. But in reality, on the flat stationary plane I live upon, whatever goes on up in the sky is completely independent to and irrelevant to the stationary plane I live upon. Now, I addressed that earlier and you hand waved it. So stating that I didn't address it is a lie.
Well, it sounds like he has no way to suggest that it's tenable. I do appreciate that Brian has embraced his ignorance and is proudly displaying it for everybody. He wants everybody to know that he's incredibly ignorant about things in the sky and he can't answer anything about how things work at all. He has absolutely no answers to anything in the slightest. Not a good look for flat Earth. It's basically just handing over the win because he can't provide any answers at all. So thank you for that, Brian. I don't know why you even showed up.
Let me make sure I'm not, I haven't muted you, Brian. Brian, MCToon asks, why did you show up?
Sorry. I showed up. That's not what he asked. That's not what he said, James. You're trying to change it. Why are you helping him out? Why are you helping MCToon? James?
What?
Why are you
I did
helping
ask why you're here.
MCToon?
Why are you even here,
What
Brian?
MCToon did is MCToon was hoping that I would come in here with some stupid model. The problem is, Toon, is that you and people like you believe that you know what the celestial bodies are.
We do.
And you know how they do what they do. But
Absolutely.
you don't know.
We do.
You don't know.
100% we do.
Right.
Let's give him a
Give
chance
me the
to finish.
composition of the sun. Okay, James, hang on. Give me the composition of the sun and how it was established and verified.
Okay.
All right. That's obviously that's outside the topic. He's trying to avoid the topic. Like I said, he's aggressively trying to avoid the topic. The composition of the sun is irrelevant to the position of the sun, which is really what's important here in the this. But if you want, Brian, I would be happy to provide you later the history of the determination of the composition of the sun. It's an amazing history full of a lot of wonderful science. Might be over your head, but anyway, the position of the sun, regardless of what makes it output the heat and light that it does, is definitely relevant to this discussion, and the fact that it is a rather distant, and the fact that the sun and Earth have a relationship and position is important. These things are outlined in ephemerides like a VSOP 87 and some of the ones from the Jet Propulsion Lab, and those you can use in addition to other much more simpler versions to determine where the sun and Earth are in relation to each other so that you can determine the length of shadows as they will be on the surface of the Earth. Of course, none of this uses a flat plane.
I want to give you a chance to respond, Brian. I do got to give you both a heads up that because we do want to get Brian out of here by a decent time. Brian, I just clicked unmute so you can speak, respond back for a minute. We will be wrapping up earlier tonight. So it's not going to be a 3 or 4 hour debate. We do want to wrap up probably within like 40 minutes or so. So we are going to jump into the Q&A shortly. So probably like 10 to 15 minutes. We will jump into that. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I'm okay for hearing about your supposed answers later. The answers you were supposed to give is supposed to be given now, Toon. But it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm fully aware of the history of the question I asked you. That's why I asked you about that question. because you said that you do know, right, which is a massive claim that you can't back up, as I know because I know the history. I did address everything here. There's nothing that I didn't address. It's that you don't like the truth of my answers. I've been very honest here. You want me to come up with some ridiculous model that has no bearing on anything. I'm not going to do that. And what you're talking about when you say that there's no flat plane involved, every single astronomical measurement involves the equatorial plane of the globe at vernal equinox, which then extends the equatorial plane out into the celestial plane and sits it stationary with moving celestials above it, because they're using the celestial dome model. That's what they're using, right? That is what is being hijacked for you to create your globe, right? You're just trying to hijack the celestial dome, which uses a flat plane constantly. So when you say there's no flat plane involved, that's either ignorance or lies. Simple as.
MCToon. I'm going to make sure you can speak, MCToon. You're on mute.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he made the same assertion as he did before, but didn't provide anything. I cited the VSOP 87, which is an ephemeris of the solar system that gives the position of the Earth and the Sun, the Moon, and multiple planets in three-dimensional space over time. Has nothing to do with the Earth being flat, with the flat plane of the Earth. Nothing at all to do with that. And he then asserted that somehow they do. But I've looked at VSOP 87. It certainly does not include a flat Earth in it. So I guess Brian could support his claim, I guess.
I'm going to unmute you, Brian. I hope you behave.
Why are you saying that to me, James?
Just giving you. I'm just teasing you.
I don't need someone talking down to me. Do you understand?
Don't need help with what?
I don't need somebody talking down to me. Do you understand that?
Oh, I'm just teasing you. Go ahead.
I don't need teasing. Do you understand?
I'm going to tease you and you're going to like it. Now go ahead and respond,
I'm not. I don't give a
MC2.
shit about your. I don't give a shit about your platform.
Okay, good. Now's your chance to respond, MC2, and
I
otherwise
don't
he's
give a
going to
shit
go
about your platform.
unresponded
I'll hang
to.
up in a second. It means nothing to me.
Do you agree with what MC2 just said?
Are you going to stop talking down to me?
You were
I
taking
suppose you
everything
take that
so
MC
serious.
Toon. You don't realize your friend MC Toon here, but you don't realize is he didn't understand what I said. So his response to it was I didn't say anything and didn't address anything because he didn't understand what I said. Maybe he should go and speak to Danny Faulkner. He don't understand what I said because he's an astronomer. Now, I would like it. I'd appreciate it, James, if you didn't speak down to me again. Thank you.
Well,
You remember when I told MC2, I was like, MC2, you got to give your
Toon is
brother
an
a
idiot.
chance. I said, MC2, you got to give your brother a chance to respond. He didn't get all triggered, and I was teasing him. But I'll give you a chance. MC2, if you'd like to respond, you can.
all he did was cry, so there's nothing to respond to yet. Cry more, Brian. It's funny. Where?
Any last arguments you guys want to touch on before we go into the Q&A?
I gotta top off my flurf tears here. Hold on.
I do want to give Brian street cred because it is very late where Brian is. So my teasing Brian, it's not meant to demean you. It's purely just like it's, you could say, a love language. Is that I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you being here, and I do want to say, folks, Brian is like coming in here tonight at an diabolical hour because he's in Europe. In particular, can I dox you, Brian? Brian is in a brothel in Amsterdam, and he still made it to this stream. So I do want to say
Good for
thank you.
him.
And Brian, that's teasing. Okay, so we're going to jump into these questions. I do want to say, folks, you can find Brian and MCToon's links in the description box. And I am going to put a little poll in the live chat asking who you thought was most persuasive in this debate, folks. But do want to say, like I said, huge props because Brian also jumped in last minute. He's like, all right, I'll do it last minute. We're going to jump into this Q&A right now. Felix says, we want serious questions, folks. Kango44 says, is Earth Is flat Earth still tenable after watching the sun set and rise every day? I'll give you a chance to respond to that, Brian. I just asked you to unmute.
Yeah, I'll respond to that. Yeah, that's a common misunderstanding of the situation. Officially, the sun doesn't rise or set. It's what's known as the sun mirage that we see at the horizon in the morning and the evening time. There is no setting sun or rising sun. And the horizon is not the leading geometric edge of a globe. It's an optical phenomenon. The changes with weather, optics, elevation. So it's the meeting of two phenomenons. The horizon, two optical phenomenons, the horizon and what's known as the sun mirage. That's official. That's not me. That's official. Even within the globe paradigm, the horizon is not the leading geometric edge of the globe because there is a constant of always at least 7 over and greater than 7 over 6R present within their paradigm. So the horizon is not geometric within that paradigm. So whatever the sun is seen doing at the horizon has no relevance whatsoever to do with a globe or proof for a globe or anything else, or this proof of a flat Earth. Because as I said, officially, it's what's known as the sun mirage. Now, most people don't know that, especially on the globe side.
This one from J Bone says, Brian, does a 24-hour sun make perfect sense on a globe? Flat earthers go to wild lengths with faulty models other than to accept the globe. Occam's razor. I have to unmute you, Brian. You don't have to you don't have to mute yourself now because during the Q&A, I think it'll be as long as you guys only respond to questions that were to you and not interrupt each other. I'll make sure your brother MCToon does not interrupt. But go ahead, Brian, if you want to respond to that last question.
Well, it wasn't really a question. It's more of a statement based off of someone's belief, religious belief in the globe. Like if there is a 24, like this is another hand wave of what I stated at the start. If there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it has no bearing on a flat stationary plane because it's independent of the plane we stand upon. The flat stationary Earth has no connection to what goes on in the sky. It's only the globe paradigm that inserts that, not flat stationary plane. I don't know how many times I have to say that. So what it does or doesn't do doesn't supposedly on a globe means nothing to me because there's no globe ever being proven. There's no measurements of a globe ever. So I don't know.
Thank you. This one coming in from Tango44 says, what makes MDD think the brain is capable of showing up on time? Maybe his nurse, never mind that. Tango44 says, this is the problem platforming. All right. J-Bone says, Brian, explain 24-hour sun on flat Earth. $1,000 says you can't. All right, Brian, we'll give you a chance to respond.
Sorry, I muted myself out of habit. The habit of always muting after I speak. Explain it. Why would I explain? What are explanations? What other explanations you have to be able to show? I'd have to know what the sun is and how it does what it does. Well, I already disclaimed that nobody knows that. Not just me, nobody. So within the globe paradigm, people can make claims. Oh, it'll do this and that. Apparently, it'll do this, that, and the other thing. But I mean, if you look at the mounts that were used even during the TFE, they are powered to turn. They're not powered to stay stationary. They're powered to turn, which means the sun is moving and not the Earth.
Wow, he doesn't understand relative motion. What a child!
I do understand it. You think I don't? What I just said there. The problem is you don't understand what I just said.
You don't understand relative. You just made it clear you don't understand relative motion.
They're not. No, within your paradigm, they would be powered to they would only have to stay stationary.
No, not at all.
Yes, they would.
Lies. That's a lie about our paradigm.
They don't have to stay stationary.
That's not how it works, Brian.
They don't have to be locked in. All they'd have to be within your power. If your paradigm is real, all a solar mount would have to be is locked into place mechanically and be on a well-oiled swivel. That's all it would have to be.
Boy, you're so
well-oiled swivel. That's all it would have to be.
What an absolute idiot, Brian.
No, it wouldn't have to be powered.
Wow, you're so dumb.
Let's give Brian a chance to respond.
They're actually turning. Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to point out something to him he doesn't understand.
So stupid.
All right, let's give Brian a chance to finish.
You don't understand.
One of the dumbest humans
ever.
ever to
MCToon, you're interrupting now. as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll jump
My
to the next
opponent
question.
is not understanding this. Within his paradigm, right, the sun is not moving. So a solar
The
mount,
sun's moving in my paradigm. Why are you lying about it?
there is no movement of the sun in your
Yes,
paradigm.
there is in my paradigm. Why are you lying about it?
Not from a globe Earth's position.
Well, why are you lying about it?
I'm not lying. That is the paradigm.
No, you're lying about my position, Brian.
Your sun is stationary from your position on the globe.
No, it's not, Brian.
It only appears to move.
No, it's not, Brian.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Why are you telling me what I think?
Yes,
What's wrong with you, Brian?
Yes, it is.
Why are you lying?
So, okay, you're saying the sun.
I'm not going to let you just lie about me, Brian.
So you're saying the sun actually moves.
Yes, I'm saying the sun actually moves.
The sun actually moves. So when you're
what's wrong with you, Brian?
So the sun actually moves within.
Yes, the sun actually moves, Brian.
In your solar system.
Yes, it actually moves around.
Right, so
the
it
galaxy,
rotates
Brian.
around you. Does it? Can it be seen?
No, Brian. The sun actually moves around the galaxy, Brian. Why are you lying about it?
Sorry, we're talking about the solar system.
Oh, you're talking about just within the solar system.
I said solar
now.
system.
Got it.
No.
You're
still
trying, it doesn't.
Which was going
still
on
it
there,
doesn't.
you're doing your best to move away from my solar mount point.
Still it doesn't.
Because it debunks your globe.
Still it doesn't sit stationary in the solar system, Brian.
It debunks your globe. Solar mounts are powered to actually turn.
Yeah, you're too stupid to understand relative motion, Brian.
No, that's not.
You're so dumb. You think that's a person on an airplane who jumps is going to slam against the back of the wall.
You're too stupid to understand it.
Let's jump to the next one. This is from.
Turn is not an apparent turn.
This is from LJ. They say Nathan Oakley proved Earth's measured flat and level. MCToon.
I've never seen these measurements.
Otto says, I noticed that every flat Earth guy is always parroting Russian propaganda. Okay. LJ says, how do you know what the sun's made of? You don't, MCToon.
Well, yeah, people do. I don't know why this is a difficult concept. It's not hard to look up. It's covered here. I've got this high school physics book here, OpenStax. If you want, it's free. You can go to OpenStax website. You can get the PDF of it, or just look it out their website. It covers the composition of the sun at a high school level. Go ahead and look it up yourself there.
That's
why don't you tell us all about it, Tim? You didn't want to answer it earlier.
Let's go to Artful Daw Jr. Says, Toon, you plan to debate Nico? It's basically sloppy seconds after Fight the Flat Earth. Just went 2-0 with him. But seeing him face a real Christian should be good, you soy boy.
I torched Nico last night.
Wow, is that some sort of innuendo? This one from Arnold says, when is Flat Earth going to do something with their paradigm-shattering science that impacts real life, instead of just pretending to win arguments on the internet, Brian?
There's no such thing as flat Earth science or globe science. There's only naturals. There's no such thing as globe science or flat Earth science. There's only science, natural science, the scientific method. It's complete ignorance to think that there's globe science or science for a globe. It's a complete category error. A globe would be a geometric question. What is, not a cause and effect. That's just stupid. You people don't know what natural science is. That's the problem. That's why you think you have science for things. You just hijacked this. You're like, Toon is laughing now, but Toon literally tried to hijack.
You have no clue what science is.
You literally tried to hijack natural science earlier.
You have no idea.
To hijack natural science.
None of you flatties have ever done any science.
Let me ask you a question then. Toon. Right? What are the constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis? How many parts and what are they?
Brian, I don't have a
question. Don't waste my time.
Brian, I don't have a...
And do not waste my time.
I'm about to answer. Shut your face hole.
Do not waste my time.
All right, Brian. James, next question. Thank you.
No, right. He answers that. Answer that question.
We'll jump into the next one.
I'll gladly answer the question if he's muted, so he doesn't interrupt me like an idiot.
I'll just be quiet, James. I won't have to mute. You won't have to mute me.
I don't trust him.
I will mute myself.
He's an untrustworthy, worthless human.
He just muted himself, so now I have to unmute him. MCToon, go
Brian,
ahead.
I do not have a religious dogma like you do about how science is done. Rather, I understand that the core of science, as outlined in Popper that I mentioned earlier, is having as its essence a falsifiable hypothesis. That's it. Everything else you can build around that. as long as you have a falsifiable hypothesis. And I have a citation that you don't have. Karl Popper, Logic of Scientific Discovery, chapters 3 and 4.
This one coming in from JSS Tiger says, did Brian just debunk the flat Earth Gleason map? Ha ha ha. Brian will give you a chance to respond to that. I just asked you to unmute.
Yeah, I have to just address Toon there first. You seem to have moved off away from that, James. Yeah, no, Toon, you weren't. Toon wasn't able to answer the question because he doesn't know. Toon, you don't know what a scientific hypothesis is. You don't know what one is. Showing me a book which says Popper on it is not you knowing what a scientific hypothesis is, or what the constituent parts of that scientific hypothesis is. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fraud. That's what you are. A complete and utter fraud. Now, it's not my scientific method, it's the scientific method. Not Brian's logic, not flat earth, the scientific method. Something you avoid. Something you don't even know. Something you don't even know.
Citation needed.
Citation.
Show you use the word hypothesis in that from Popper. So please give me the constituent parts of a scientific hypothesis.
Go to the next question. Doesn't look like MC.
James, I asked you the question.
Hold on, let me make fun of MCToon for a second. Looks like old MCToon is tongue-tied. You stumped him. Kango44 says, Mike, I would just leave. Brian's intro is just. I said, MCToon, I would just leave. Brian's intro is just so insulting. Brian, is this true?
I don't know.
Okay. The grumpy old mechanic says, when do we expect Brian's shattering paper in the Journal of Geophysical Research demonstrating that every relevant scientist on the globe is wrong?
That's not science. What he just spoke about there is not science. That's not natural science. That's pseudoscience. What he just spoke about, that discipline does not employ scientific method. So by definition, he just referred to pseudoscience. Shows what he knows.
All right, yes, take that, MCToon. Thomas Jackson says, MCToon, please Google and read for Brian the definition of observational experiment. Explain how TFE, aka the final experiment, falls within the confines of the literal definition.
There's no such thing as an observational experiment.
Shush, Brian. It was for me, Brian. Brian, little
That's
boy.
A joke. Go on, I'll be
it's
quiet.
My turn.
Go on with your
pseudoscience.
Brian. Off you go.
All right. Observational studies are research studies in which researchers collect information from participants or look at data that was already collected. In observational studies, researchers follow groups of people over periods of time. This is about social science in here in particular. Observational study draws social sciences, psychology, statistics. Observational study draws inferences from sample to a population where the independent variable is not under the control of the researcher because of the ethical concerns or logical constraints. So there you go. Observational science is a fully valid science. Brian doesn't get to tell scientists how to do science. He's not a scientist. He's just a dummy.
Could you please read out the part about the independent variable again, please, Tom?
Yeah, it's not under the control of the experimenter because of...
Yeah, so it's not a scientific experiment then.
Oh, it certainly is. By the people that do science.
It's not a scientific experiment.
You don't get to decide what science is,
It's not me,
Brian.
it is deciding,
You're
idiot.
not the final arbiter of science, Brian.
Nobody
gives a damn about what you think about science, Brian.
Hang on,
this
James,
one.
could I just respond to that there? Because there seems to be something being put forth by my opponent here that the scientific method is something I supposedly made up. This is not Brian's logic scientific method. It's not quantum eraser scientific method. It's not the flat earth scientific method. It is the scientific method.
Citation needed then.
You want a citation for what? That I didn't make up the scientific method.
I need to see all of the scientists in the world that say this is the
want the citation that
method.
I didn't make up the scientific method.
Brian, I'm looking for your support.
You want me to lay out the scientific method for you, so you know what
for
maybe
your
the next
claim,
time,
Brian. You make a claim.
I know about it.
You back it up. That's how you do a debate.
Do what? That's how we do what?
There you go. All
You
right.
want me to find a citation that
We've
I
gotta go
didn't
to the
make up
next one.
scientific method?
This one from JSS Tiger says, how can flat earthers show the sun's path from tropic to tropic without the Gleason map?
The Gleason's map just marks points on that, and they call them the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. It's not the map, it's the latitude and longitude grid, and that's not connected to the sun. That's connected to Polaris, not the sun. What the latitude and longitude grid is a two-dimensional horizontal grid, and when your coordinates, let's say your latitude and longitude, right where you are now, James, let's just say, that is in relation to the GP point of Polaris. It's nothing to do with the sun. These people don't know what they're talking about.
Left-handed Jedi says, why can't the flat earth predict sunrises, sunsets, or eclipses, Brian?
Sunrises and sunsets aren't predictions, and neither are eclipses, they're cycles. And the eclipses that he's talking about are all flat earth. All the cycles are all based off of flat earth. They're all from Babylonia. That's what NASA used, the solar cycle. So he doesn't know. Again, they don't know. It's just an unbelievable amount of ignorance out there.
I'd love to see how the Saros cycle predicted where I should stand in Texas on April 8th.
Well, I can tell you this much: NASA had to refer to it and change all their predictions because they tried to predict it, because you can't predict it on a globe, and they had to go back to the solar cycle.
That's
the
not
solar
true.
cycle. Are you
trying
to say? Are you denying the solar cycle? Are you denying the solar cycle?
Are you denying NASA used the solar cycle? Specific question.
Are you denying NASA used the solar cycle?
Yeah, they don't use it. They use VSOP 87.
They don't use the solar cycle then. So you're saying they don't use the solar cycle?
Let me say it again, Brian.
That's completely false.
Let me say it again, Brian. Listen up. Shut your face hole. Listen up with your little ears. NASA uses VSOP.
Don't you speak down to me, motherfucker.
I'm speaking down to you, little child boy.
Down to me,
because you don't understand this topic at all.
You're a big man.
I think I understand it, and you don't.
You're a heap of bollocks.
Brian, listen up, little boy.
Don't you fucking speak down to me, motherfucker.
Listen up, little boy.
Don't you fucking dare speak down to me.
NASA uses VSOP 87.
Let's go to
NASA used the solar cycle.
ELP 2000.
NASA used the solar cycle from Babylonia.
Brian, little boy, shut your mouth, Brian. I'll explain it to you. It's on their website, Brian.
I don't need your explanation. You're a fuckwit.
Brian,
you remember what was the last you remember on Jerry Springer when they would say, like, let's go to our final segment? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I need you to bear with me. We have more questions. They said, why can't flat earth we got that one. Acintic says many flat earthers believe the final experiment was staged and faked. Some flat earthers are waiting for the rest of the data from the trip to dissect. Until then, everything is speculation, Mick Cartoon.
Did you add that at the end, or was that them?
I added that part at the end.
Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of data, and we are processing it and put it together and presenting it in ways that make sense. I have all the data that I took is in this book here, and I have a large amount of it in here, and of course we have a huge amounts of video data as well. So we had 6 or 7, maybe even more cameras doing a full 24-hour videos of the sun. So we have a lot of that to go through, and total of about 16 or 17 different experiments that we did.
Thank you. This one coming in from Yadian says, I admit that the Earth may, in fact, be spherical. Hango44 says, Dr. James, okay, platforming Brian is not a great look. Oh, come on. We have to allow everybody to have their chance. Awakening Minds says, MCToon, can you show the audience how the 24-hour sun works on a globe, you soy boy? I've been waiting to see this. How does the 24-hour...
Absolutely.
Hold on. They said, how does the 24-hour sun work on a globe? Illustration, please. Show the audience.
I can do that. All right. So you see the angle here. This is at an angle. This matches the inclination of the globe in relation to the sun. And so here's the South Pole. And so I'm going to have the camera be the the sun. So you see, try to get it about right here. You see, you're able to see past where the pole is a little bit. That's that's the part of the globe that gets sunlight at this time of year, and you can see here it is rotating, and you can see past the pole. Now, later in the year when it's like this, well, you can't see it. You never see any of Antarctica. You see that? So that's like in June. But up here, you see on the other side here of the North Pole, so the Arctic gets the sunlight. It's an amazing model that's completely correct, absolutely completely correct, no flaws in it at all. It's amazing, and Flat Earth has no answer for it, not even close, nothing at all. So there you go. Thanks for the question.
Fates says, don't let Brian weasel out of the questions. Keep hammering the fact he can't answer any of these without you, James, giving him something to fail to refute. What? I don't know what that means, but go ahead, Brian, if you want to
Yeah,
respond.
I've addressed absolutely everything. I have yet to see how the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, how that proves the globe and disproves the flat Earth. When I've pointed out that it's only it's a needed confirmation bias for our globe, but it doesn't prove anything geometrically, and it doesn't disprove anything geometrically, especially a flat stationary plane that's completely independent of it. I don't know why people keep on looking. Why do people keep on thinking that it proves or disproves something? It doesn't. It proved or disproved whether you would see a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. If you want to say it proved or disproved something, that's been it. Now, nothing has been
Thank you.
avoided.
Yeah,
Sorry.
MCToon. Stringfellow Hawk says, Brian,
Run
do you agree
away.
there's a 24-hour darkness at the North Pole at the same time that there's a 24-hour sun at the South Pole?
Well, if there's definitely a 24-hour, there's definitely several months of darkness in the north. That's for sure at this time of year. And if what we saw in the video is true, then there's a 24-hour Antarctic sun, whatever.
All right, very good, very good. This one from Left-Handed Jedi says, thanks for the laughs. I needed it. I think they're talking about you, MCToon. Tango44 says, Dr. James, do you have to get permission from Brian's? Okay, why do you do that? Remember, we don't want to read the super chats that are insulting. JSS Tiger, unless they're insulting toward MCToon. This one from JSS Tiger says, Brian, how is everything south of the equator measured based on elevation angles to Polaris?
There is no Polaris to be seen past the equator because that's 90 degrees. That would be a horizontal measurement. There's a horizontal measured distance between the equator and Polaris of 5,400 nautical miles. Nautical miles are horizontals. They're a derivative of statute miles, which are horizontals. You're using an elevation
no
angle,
answer.
which means you're measuring.
No answer.
You're measuring the adjacent. Excuse me, I'm answering the question.
No, you didn't.
You're measuring the adjacent of an elevation angle, and that's what you're measuring. So after 90 degrees, you can't see any celestial body. That's the general rule. The sun might be a little bit different, but after 90 degrees, you can't see the stars, any star, because it's 90 degrees is your limit. You have 180 degrees of view. And if a star is the GP of a star or the sun or whatever, the GP of let's say a star is 5,400 nautical miles away from you, you won't see the star. It'll be just on your horizon.
Why?
If you go past that, you won't see it.
What's the geometry for that?
Elevation angle, flat plane.
No, what's the geometry?
Yeah, I just gave it to you. Elevation angle.
Show me the geometry. Draw it out. Draw out the geometry.
Do you want me to get out GeoGebra?
Yeah, I want you to draw me the geometry.
1 second now.
Draw me the geometry for why you can't see Polaris.
I'll get out GeoGebra.
At 30 degrees south.
As soon as I just share it here now. 1 second.
Okay.
I mean, I can draw it on paper.
Looking for GeoGebra.
We did put a new poll in the live chat here at Modern Day Debate asking you who you thought was most persuasive tonight. By the word, and as Brian looks for this, your options are Brian, of course, and MCToon, and I don't know, and I don't care. I'm a self-loathing soy cuck. I resent the fact that cuck is supposed to be a bad word. I think we're going to take it back and we're going to start using it again in a productive way because it started out as a fun, and then they tried to say it was bad and that it's inappropriate, but we're taking it back. All right, Brian, go ahead.
But that's it. There's an elevation angle. That's what it would look like orthographically.
Got it. Now show how when you get farther away, it disappears. It goes to 0. How far do you need to go away for it to go to 0?
Well, the star doesn't actually drop in the sky. It's the angular.
I asked you for the geometry. So show me the geometry.
Yeah. So as you move away,
when will it hit 0?
As you move back, the star appears to go down.
Got it. When does it go negative? How far away?
It doesn't go negative. It can't go negative. It's not actually going down. I've already told you that.
Okay,
you don't understand
but it does go
elevation
negative.
angles.
But Brian, it does go negative. When you're 30 degrees south latitude, the angle to Polaris is negative 30 degrees.
That's your crazy religious belief.
Of course it is, Brian.
No, it can't go negative.
But it does. In reality, it does.
It didn't actually go down at all. That's the point.
You're dragging it down. You're literally dragging it down, Brian.
No, that is from the observer's
Everybody
point of
sees
view.
that.
From the observer's point of view.
All right, got it. So drag the observer then. Move the observer farther away.
Yeah, the observer goes away.
Okay, now when does that angle go to 0? Well, stop moving the star. Stop moving the star.
But I have to represent reality.
Now drag the observer farther away. When does that angle go to 0?
George ability one thing at a time.
Keep going. No. Oh, you got to move the star down.
But this is orthographic. This is not.
You got to move the star down. Oh, it's not working, Brian.
In reality, it's perspective.
What a failure, Brian.
Are you saying
geometry's falling apart for you, little buddy?
So you're claiming perspective doesn't exist?
No, Brian.
But that's what you just claimed.
Geometry doesn't work for flat Earth. Thank you, Brian.
You're claiming that perspective doesn't exist.
Buddy.
You're claiming perspective doesn't exist.
Thanks,
so
buddy.
You're
moving the star.
You're claiming when I move far enough away from a mountain, that the mountain won't appear to change an angular size.
That's not what I'm claiming at all.
So the angular free space between the star and the horizon, right? That won't decrease as I move away.
Brian,
okay, we do.
So the angular free space,
move the observer, so the star hits 0 degrees. Move the observer, so the star hits 0 degrees. You can't do it.
So I'll ask you again.
You can't do it, Brian.
So I'll ask you again.
You can't do it, little buddy.
So I'll ask you again. Sorry,
do we see an orthographic
view? Do we see an orthographic view too? Answer that question, honestly. Do you see an orthographic view?
You took the bait, dude.
Do you see
you showed that it's impossible.
No, do we see an orthographic view? So, Toon, do we see an orthographic view?
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
So you're claiming we see an orthographic view.
Oh,
so that's your claim. You're claiming we see.
Oh my gosh, Brian.
So you're claiming we see an orthographic view.
Brian. Oh.
So you're claiming
it's like in A Few Good Men, James.
So
remember at the end of A Few Good Men?
We see an orthographic view.
James, do you remember that?
Are you claiming that?
Hold on, Brian. James, do you remember the end of
Are you claiming that we see an
orthographic
view?
We have to move to the next one.
Are you claiming we see an orthographic view?
James, I want to ask quick aside with you, James.
Are you claiming we see an orthographic view?
We have a lot of questions that people are wanting to ask.
All right.
Well, I want to know if my opponent is claiming we see an orthographic view.
We've got to go. It's a simple question. Sorry,
James. I think it's fair. He should answer this.
Yes, to move the star down. It's great.
But the star is not actually going down. It's only a pound.
We got to go to the next one. This one coming in from
Brian
Peck
idiot.
says, "Hey, Brian."
You're
Brian Peck says, "Why does Brian think forcefully asserting his ignorance is a valid, convincing argument?"
I don't know. That's not a question. Find something else.
JSS Tiger says, "Did we already read this one?" They said, "Brian, how is everything south of the equator measured based on elevation angles to Polaris?"
That's how we got into this one.
Okay.
No, the latitude and longitude. I never said anything was measured.
Engineering science.
I never
Brian,
said anything. 1 second, James. You're asking me a question. I'm going to answer. I never said.
Was that a duplicate?
I never said anything about the measurement of Polaris south of the equator.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I never said the measurement of anything of the Polaris south of the equator.
Engineering science.
I said that. I've never said that. Excuse me, James.
Brian, I read it twice.
Sorry, Toon just claimed that I had said something that I never said.
Okay, good.
So am I not being allowed to address the question?
Okay, yeah, Brian, I get it. MCToon just said something that he said that you said something that you never said. You just pointed it out, and I read that question twice, if I understand right. And so you guys got to respond to it twice. So that's more than enough. Did I read that question twice? Am I wrong about that? Okay, I'm going to unmute. And I'm going to read the next question. Engineering Science says, Brian, does the
Hang on, no,
hypotenuse...
hang on, James. I didn't get a chance to
oh
respond to
my
that.
gosh, Brian, bro, we've had a million questions. People want to have their question read. You guys had 4 minutes to cover that question. This one is Engineering Science, who says, Brian, does the hypotenuse to the celestial object need to be surface, or does the, quote, line, unquote, need to be a physical object when it suits the narrative? Go ahead, Brian.
I don't know what he's talking about. It's some convoluted globe mess, right? As the person moves back away from Polaris, Polaris appears to drop in the sky. As the person moves closer to Polaris, Polaris appears to rise in the sky once they're north of the equator. Simple stuff. It's an apparent thing. Do you understand? Sorry, so Toon, and this is for the person in the audience. James, you didn't allow me to address the last question, but I'll address this one. Do the people in the audience and Toon, do they not understand that angular, right? The angular height of something is the apparent height, not the actual height. Do you understand that?
Of course,
I do. You don't understand that. You don't understand that
because
you don't understand that because you don't know perspective.
You asked me a question, Brian.
Angles,
I'd love to answer the question.
1 second.
Then don't ask me a question,
elevation
Brian.
Angles is a
don't
measurement
ask me
of
a
perspective.
Question.
You don't understand that because you denied perspective earlier. You denied perspective. You tried to employ that we see in orthographic view. We do not. We see in perspective view.
Gotta lie.
Right? That's not a lie. That's what you tried to employ.
Lie.
You tried to employ that. You tried to employ that.
Lying is the way.
So do we see in perspective view? Do you agree perspective exists?
Okay, do you agree perspective exists?
Do you agree perspective exists?
I'll be glad to answer.
Go on.
All right, James, I think we're ready for the next question.
No, he didn't answer. No, James, no, he didn't answer.
Then,
he is employing that we see in orthographic view.
You just say, hey, look, he didn't answer. He doesn't have an answer. I stumped him. Okay,
he didn't answer. He doesn't have an answer.
Okay, let me read the next question. Cruxell says, Toon, no one intelligent enough to have any impact on the world will ever fall for the flat earth grift. Advocates for this are either uneducated or just trolling. So why bother with them? Wait.
It's a good question. They do target vulnerable individuals and people that don't have the background. And they are trying to get people into politics. There have been several people that have.
I don't target anybody. I don't target anybody.
Shut up, Brian.
That's a claim.
Oh my gosh, James!
Made a claim that I target. I target.
This little infantile child can't behave.
I don't target nobody.
All right,
I put out videos on YouTube.
All right.
Up the people whether they watch it or not.
James,
how about
we won't get through super chats if you
just
can't
made
mute
a claim about me personally that I target people.
We will not be getting through any more super chats if you won't mute
That's
him.
a fucking lie, scumbag.
Why don't we go to the next question?
MCToon is a scumbag motherfucker who makes claims about people personally.
Okay, we understand he's a scumbag. Theo Megawordy says, shout out. By the way, huge thank you to Pastor Duffy for helping arrange this debate. He actually helped coordinate to find an opponent. So we do appreciate that, Pastor Duffy. This one coming in from Theo Megawordy. By the way, Pastor Duffy has a debate recently on this channel you can check out. Theo says, shout out from the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. The sky doesn't decide the ground. Think so? Come see us and give us your logical syllogism of any final experiment observation proving globe Earth or disproving flat Earth. Take that, MCToon. JSS Tiger says, to all the flat earthers, the tangent line is not the surface. Learn things, anything.
Tangent
Brian, any thoughts?
Tangent is the term tangent is begging the question. There is no tangent. It's a horizontal.
That's the begging the question is
the horizontal is not begging the question. The horizontal is what we actually use to measure it.
Yeah. Begging the question.
We measure horizontal.
Begging the question.
We measure horizontal distance.
Begging the question.
Begging the question is the dingleberry globe.
Begging the question.
Yeah.
Begging the question.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Begging
that's all
the
you
question.
can do.
Brian's begging the question.
Have you produced any evidence that the observation you made in Antarctica proved the globe or disproved the flat Earth? Because I have heard nothing here tonight.
Yeah, it went over your head, Brian. Got it.
No, it didn't go over my head. You didn't even
All
understand
over your
geometry.
head.
You think
All
we
over
see an
your head.
orthographic view, and you didn't know what a zenith angle was.
All over
You
your
didn't
head.
know what a zenith angle was.
Of course I did.
You didn't know what a zenith angle.
You're redefining it.
I asked you what's the 77 degrees in relation to, and you said what's it subtracted from? You said from the zenith.
I got it, Brian. You're butthurt.
From the zenith. You didn't even realize that a
yeah.
zenith angle
Yeah,
has
reliving your butthurt.
the opposite from elevation.
Share your pain, Brian.
That's 90 degrees.
Share the pain.
You didn't even realize that it's 90 degrees. That's what
share the pain, Brian.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You show even
the phone
even
that
people
I
on your own side
only has an accelerometer, Brian. It has no way to understand horizontal. The phone only knows vertical. That's what I use to measure
is
the
90
angle.
degrees to horizontal. You can't have a vertical.
But the phone,
you can't
Brian,
have a down or a vertical on the globe.
But the phone only knows down. That's all it knows.
Yeah, and
because it's got an accelerometer to know the angle.
Down
that's all it has. It doesn't know horizontal.
Okay, we do have to go to the next question.
Down is 90 degrees to horizontal. You're a bozo.
Yeah, MCToon. This one from Theo says, "Good to see you, Mark Sargent. We'll see if we can't do some cross promo in the near future. 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, the final proposition." Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, "Brian, please explain the 24-hour sun in Antarctica." All right, we've had this question a million times. No offense.
Yeah.
Jaws Incarnate says, "I feel I know why they are such silly billies. Jesus would give and kisses. Well, here is a start. Have some pie. 4 pieces should be enough for you. GL." What does that mean? Piasari says, "For Brian, how were you able to drag this discussion from the final experiment to the same rubbish you predicate every day on your echo chamber? Do you feel useful?"
I don't have an echo chamber. I don't run a live show at all. So I don't know what echo chamber he's talking about. Number one. Number two, I didn't drag it from anywhere. The evidence was not produced by MCToon for the proof of a globe or the disproof of a flat earth via this observation in Antarctica. Nothing was proven or disproven geometrically. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. This one coming in from 2 moments. I'm just a little bit behind here. Magellan says, "MCToon, hello from Thailand." This one coming in from, oh, here we go. JSS Tiger says, "Brian, state for the record what your flat earth model is."
There's no such thing. There's no globe model. These things don't exist.
He can't talk about flat earth without talking about the globe. See that?
There's no globe model. It doesn't exist. There's no flat earth model. These things don't exist.
PhD Tony says, "MCToon, are you aware of any professional geodesists, mathematicians, physicists, surveyors, astronomers, or earth scientists who agree that elevation angles require a flat earth?"
There are, in fact, none that agree. Not a single one.
Well, that's funny because my mother's partner is a retired geodetic surveyor. He spent 3 to 4 decades being a geodetic surveyor. And he used nothing but elevation angles and triangles 180 degrees.
And none of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's geodetic surveyor.
And
geodetic surveyor, yeah. So, but people's opinions mean nothing because facts are facts. So what the PhD Tony, what he thinks of what you think and what 10 million other people think mean nothing because facts are facts. So if everybody thinks, so if a
geodetic surveyors use the globe,
and one person thinks it's not, the fact might show that the person thinks
it's not. Little
Brian,
geodetic surveyors use the globe.
Consensus is not
they
facts.
They use the radius, little guy.
Consensus is not facts. There is no radius of the Earth.
Of course there's a radius. Geodetic surveyors use the radius when they do their work.
There's no measurement for it. Give me the original measurement. Give me the original measurement.
I did it myself.
Give me the original measurement.
It doesn't matter. The original is a straw man. It doesn't matter, little boy.
Give me the original measurement.
The original doesn't matter, little buddy.
And I asked Jesse Kozlowski and Larry Scott this question. Right? I asked them for the original measurement some years ago. Jesse Kozlowski couldn't produce anything.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter.
You don't need the original measurement.
If you're claiming a radius, that means you're claiming a measurement. That means there has to be an original
and I can go do it today.
Anybody
can go do it
because there is no such
you don't need the
original measurement for the radius of a globe.
Little Brian,
it is
you
a
don't
back
need
calculation
the original.
from flat earth elevation angles to polarity. And you speaking silly
You
and
don't
speaking
need
like
to
this is not
use
going to change
Polaris,
it.
buddy.
There's
many ways to measure the
original
radius,
measurement because it
Chuckles.
was never measured. They
Of
can't.
course it was
What
meant.
they can do.
I did it myself
Okay,
many
I'll tell you
times.
what geodetic surveyors do. Okay, I'll tell you what they do.
You
They
don't know
measure
what they
actual
do.
They measure actual
You don't know what they
triangles.
do, Brian.
Yes,
You're
I
not
do
a
know what they do.
geodetic surveyor.
They measure actual
You don't know
triangles
what they
and
do for
actual
their
elevation
day-to-day work,
angles and
buddy.
actual zenith angles. And then mathematically they try and match those things to a globe. It's an afterthought back calculation. It has no relevance to the measurements whatsoever. All the measurements are off a horizontal plane with topography above and below that horizontal plane.
Yes, they are. Not, little buddy.
Produce a measurement. Produce a measurement for your globe then. Produce a globe measurement. That's not how they
do it.
Produce a globe measurement.
Absolutely. Transcontinental triangulation. I was talking, shush. Transcontinental triangulation in the American Arc of the Parallel.
No, that was a begging question fallacy. We went through that already. That's a little bit.
Shut your face, little buddy.
That begged the question. That inserted a radius without ever measuring one.
I was answering the question and you
That's not a measurement for your globe.
Does it hurt you in the feels when I can answer the question so quickly?
That is not a measurement of the globe. That is an insertion of a radius value without it ever being measured.
That's wrong, little buddy. That's
really?
Not how
so
it works.
What tools did they use?
They used theodolites.
Really? So the drop was what? What was the drop in relation to?
The drop.
The drop value that was measured. What was the drop in relation
to? What drop value? You should read
it.
You should
What's the drop in relation to?
You should read it sometime.
What's the drop value in relation to?
Okay. This one coming in from.
Yeah, no answer.
Yeah, MCToon.
There's no drop.
Nothing. So there's no drop on the globe then.
They didn't use the drop.
So they didn't measure anything then.
That's not how they did it, idiot.
So they didn't measure anything. So they didn't.
Brian, I'm trying to insult MCToon and you're ruining it. When MCToon doesn't have an answer, you don't need to constantly ask. What you should do is just turn to the audience and say, look, MCToon is stumped. He doesn't have an answer. And then just leave it be at that. But instead you just drag it on forever. And it's just bro, just claim the V, claim the victory. And just call him a tongue-tied bastard and say, look, he doesn't have an answer. But instead you just drag it on and on. It's I got to go to the next question. These people are dying to have their question read. Okay, I'm going to read the next question. MV Rosinate Gold says, Brian, what is the altitude of the sun?
There is no altitude to the sun. You can't measure an altitude to the sun. All altitudes to the sun are only apparent. Same with the stars and everything else. Once you rise, if I take an elevation angle to, let's just say Polaris, right? I'll use that as the easiest example. If I take an elevation angle to Polaris from 45 degrees north latitude, right, I'll get 45 degrees. If I rise up in an airplane 6 miles straight above myself, right? Oh, well, if someone is straight above me 6 miles up, I can't rise above myself. But right above where I was, let's just say, and I take an elevation angle to Polaris, I will get 45 degrees. So as you rise in elevation, it doesn't change the angle that you will get. So you can't state a height, an elevation to the sun, an actual elevation in feet and meters, whatever miles. You can't. You can only say an apparent elevation to a celestial body. They don't behave like terrestrial objects.
Excellent. We'll jump to the next one. This one coming in for JSS Tiger says, Brian, if I have an isosceles triangle with on one angle to 96 degrees, what are the other two angles?
Don't care. Let's go on. I'm not interested in BS questions. We're not in school here.
Juicy. All right. This one from Judge Rightly says, bad drivers says, question for Brian. You claim you don't have a model. How can you verify and or know that the Earth is flat with no model to use to test?
Good question. The measurements of the Earth all show it to be a horizontal plane. Air travel, horizontal plane, surveying, celestial navigation, astronomy, all uses horizontal plane.
Okay. The Rabbit says, Brian, can you tell us how you be? Okay, that's just an insult. MC Rosinate Gold says, Brian, you say, quote, I have no model. Do you agree that MCToon's globe model is the only theoretical model offered here tonight?
Theoretical model. Yes, I'd agree. It's a theoretical model. That's about all I'd agree to. It's
totally
not
works.
an actual
Every
model.
time it's
Not
tested.
an actual model. It's not a
Awesome.
scientific model.
Every time it's tested.
In theory,
it
it's
works.
a calculation.
Beautiful.
Based on, it's a back calculation based off of flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris.
Runway. And it works every time. That's what's beautiful about it.
All right.
I showed where your radius came from. I'm the one who showed that. I showed
No,
exactly where it came from. Exactly how it's calculated.
I'll give
No measurement of that.
Here you go. I'll give you one. Jean Picard, 1669, measured the radius of the Earth.
Didn't measure anything.
6,371.
He didn't. That didn't happen.
Will you stop talking over me?
It didn't. You said measurement. He didn't measure anything.
Are you trying to stop
What tools did he use?
Are you trying to stop the truth from getting out because it hurts you in the fields, little boy?
Go on, off you go.
Stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me. Stop trying to hide the truth because it hurts you so much, little boy.
Hide the truth.
Jean Picard in 1669 measured the radius of the Earth to be 6,371.86 kilometers. I put the link in the chat a little bit ago. It's on page 197.
He never measured anything. You can't measure a globe. If there was such a thing as a globe measurement, I'm in this topic 9 years.
All right.
Someone would have produced this.
Here's another one. Richard Norwood measured the radius of the Earth in 1633 to 1635. I'll drop the link to that.
Really, what was the process? Let's go through the process.
This one from Buck Sod says, Brian, you promised you would make me famous for giving you the pitch data that you could not find after 5 years. I am waiting.
No, I said he would become famous because he gave it to me. It's not that I just couldn't find it. It was up to Wolfie for 8 years to get it, and he wouldn't. And then other pilots wouldn't get it. They just wouldn't get the pitch data.
King Ed V says, Brian, radar horizons don't work on flat Earth. The fact that we have radar horizons prove the Earth has a curve.
True.
Radar uses angles. It's all azimuth and angles. No.
It doesn't answer the question.
Yeah, it doesn't. Radar has nothing to do with a globe.
The
horizon.
The question.
Okay, then the horizon, would that be the geometric?
The question.
Sorry. Can I address that? So would that be? This is for you, Toon. Would that be the leading geometric edge of a globe that you're speaking about? That you're referring to with this man's question?
All you're doing is running.
So
there,
would it be the leading geometric edge of a globe? Are you claiming a geometric horizon? So that's what you have to be claiming.
You can't.
So are you claiming a geometric horizon?
You can't answer.
Are you claiming the radar uses a flat plane? This was proven over and over again. Even through air travel, it's shown to be a flat plane. You cannot use a flat plane. The Earth is a flat plane. You can't not use it.
Man, you've got a stupid religion there, Brian.
So, Toon, are you claiming the horizon is geometric?
I'm claiming that the
so you're not
radar
then.
cannot. I
so
wasn't.
You're not.
I wasn't
so
even
then.
done talking.
So
right, stop asking me questions if you don't want the answer, little buddy.
It's a simple yes or no.
Don't ask me questions if you can't handle the answer.
It's a yes or no.
If the answer hurts you in the fields too much,
are you claiming that the horizon's geometric?
Don't answer the question. Don't ask a question.
So are you claiming the horizon's geometric, Tim?
Go to hell.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, good. Let's go to the next question on that productive note. King Ed V says, Brian, okay, we got that. King 044 says, Brian, why do railroad engineering books from 200 years ago reference the curvature of the Earth? Why did the construction of the London Underground take the curvature of the Earth into account?
They didn't, right? What people say in books and what happens in reality are two different things.
Thank you. Magellan, we got that one. Jan Randa says, Brian, you made 2 videos to debunk the final experiment. Your debunk was based on what model? Why did you delete them? James, please make Brian answer both questions. Okay, so first they said your debunk was based on what model, and why did you delete the videos?
I didn't. It wasn't based on any model. It was based on the globe paradigm. And I deleted the videos as well as made a community post stating that I was wrong in my premise, that I didn't take the full of the globe paradigm in that nuance into account. I moved too fast and I wasn't taking it serious enough. So because I had it wrong, I openly admitted to having it wrong and I removed the videos. My community post there, you'll see, and I left the videos up unlisted for a few days if anyone wanted to download them and get the link and download them and do whatever they want, and now they're on private. So I've been totally honest, showing total integrity.
Hango44 says, James, please read my super chats. Why are they being censored? Are you hosting modern day debate from North Korea? To be fair, I did read your serious question super chats, but when they were just making fun of Brian, I just skipped over them. Extra J says, if you have a triangle with sides of 1, 1, and 1, how many sides do you have, Brian?
A triangle. You have 3 sides to a triangle.
Wow, got that right. Good job.
It's a stupid question. If you've
Work it up. I mean, they might not.
three.
They don't know if you could answer these questions. It might
Come
be a little
on, it's
tough
just
for
stupid.
you.
It's stupid nonsense from you people, right? Who think that by being condescending, asking stupid questions to people like that makes you smart. It doesn't. You constantly get your facts wrong. You never admit when you're wrong. You're constantly doing it. Anytime you've gotten stuff wrong, which is loads of times, Town, you've never come out and admitted it that I'm aware of. Never. When I get something wrong, I admit it.
Well, just point out where I've been wrong.
What?
Point out where I've been wrong.
You claimed that you can bounce. You claimed that the sun was made of plasma, and you can bounce radar off of it.
Yes, you can. 100%.
Right. Right. So the sun is made of plasma.
Yes.
Right. And you can bounce radar off.
You
do you know that officially the sun, right? Officially, this is not my claim, but officially the sun is a black body. Right. Radar is light. A black body does not reflect light.
Radiator. You don't know what the radiator is.
A black body does not reflect light. It absorbs light.
Radiator.
It absorbs.
You missed that part.
No,
radiator. You missed that part.
Black body. No, I didn't.
You missed that part, Chuckles.
No, I didn't.
Radiator.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
no, I didn't.
We got to go to the next question.
Now we go, James. We should move on to his claim that the sun is made of plasma.
It's okay. This would have been good during the debate.
That'll be a joke.
We have a lot of questions that I still want to read through.
I know. Sorry.
Bunker says, Brian, why are you embarrassing our flatter? Okay. Mr. E-Man says, MCToon, how many observations matched the predictions, globe predictions?
For the final experiment, every single one of them did with 0 exceptions. And the flat Earth predictions that I generated, I queried flat Earthers to correct me if I was wrong. Nobody corrected me and gave the correct one, so I'll take that as an acceptance that I got it right. Exactly 0 flat Earth predictions were correct. So batting 1,000 for the globe.
Strudel Slayer says, thanks for your kind words, Strudel Slayer says, will the flat Earth side ever do a final experiment type of experiment? Brian?
What kind of nonsense? A type of it. The geometry of the Earth has no connection in whatsoever to natural science and experiment. No connection. It's complete category error. Natural science is cause and effect. What the world is a what is question. There are 2 complete category errors. It's ridiculous to even ask that question. It just shows ignorance.
Sphero says, MCToon, do you think it is sad that flirts will never understand the beauty of our planet, the incredible work that has taken place throughout history?
It is sad. I look at them, at their denialism, at the kind of sad life that they lead, where the magnificence of the universe is rejected, and instead they trap themselves into this little tiny prison planet snow globe thing, and it's really sad. I mean, the amazing things that people can do and figure out and understand about the universe and about the world, and they just reject all of it because it contradicts their
yeah, we reject things like plasmas or solids, like you would have claimed. You can bounce radar off of plasmas. Yeah, we reject stupidity. We reject that kind of stupid nonsense. Yeah.
Just dropped a link into the chat of people that actually bounced radar off the sun.
No, you can't. Well, maybe they did, but that doesn't make the sun a plasma. The sun can't be plasma. You're bouncing radar off.
All right, here's another bouncing of the.
That's brilliant, yeah.
Radar off the sun.
Yeah, so can you bounce radar off a plasma, Tim?
Yes, you can.
Really? So plasma is solid enough.
Here's another
So plasma is solid enough then?
Yes,
Tim,
it is. Yeah, it is.
So plasma is a solid then?
No,
No, it's an
not a solid.
ionized gas, so it's not a solid then.
Correct. It's not a
So,
solid.
right,
And
so
it
how are you
also can
bouncing
bounce.
radar off it?
It also can bounce radar at the same time. It can be both.
How can you
Brian.
bounce radar? Can you show
Brian,
me?
I put the links.
Show me.
I put the
show
links
me
in the chat.
outside of the
Brian,
outside of your claims concerning the sun.
I did.
Show me
I
another
put
example where
three
people
links
bounce
in the
radar
chat.
off a plasma.
3 links are in the chat.
Besides, you're begging the question concerning the sun.
All right.
Right.
I
Show me
got a fourth
another
one
example
here.
of people bouncing radar, right, or radio waves
right.
off of a plasma.
All right. There's a fourth link I put in the chat.
Yeah, that's
supporting
great.
my
You
claim.
keep putting links in the chat.
Now this is something that's going to be a little.
Show me,
Brian.
please show me. Please show me another example in reality outside of your begging the question where people bounce radar or radio waves or light at all in any shape or form off of plasma.
Excellent red herring fallacy. I just
not at all. You've made a claim.
Okay.
You've made a claim that you can bounce radar off a plasma.
All right,
you've made that claim. That's an idiotic claim.
He's too much of a child.
I hate
not
to
a child.
This.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't
You're
have
a child.
any support.
Right, guys, I hate to do this. Okay, nobody's a child except MCToon, and we're gonna go to the next one. So yeah, like Brian, do you see like I'm teasing MCToon and he doesn't take it seriously, like it's just a joke. Like, okay. So,
yeah, but James, I'm not here for a joke. This is the thing. James, I normally since the start of look, forget it.
Brian, you're a joke,
the whole
Brian.
deal. Like, because this is going nowhere.
Just know, Brian, the entire world knows you're a joke.
Just forget the whole deal because this is going nowhere, James.
Okay.
Because even when I try to speak to you, you put your head back as if, oh, it's so laborious to listen to Brian telling me something or asking me a question or anything.
It is.
Either you want to be here moderating the thing or you don't. If you don't, then just shut it down.
I want to be here, but it's just like.
So when I ask you a question, why do you roll your eyes to the sky?
Because you're a child.
James, it's not a joke. And it's like, bro, just relax. Listen, I just called MC.
I'm not here to relax, and we're not here to wear sandals and talk nonsense, right? I'm only here because there was a claim, right? There's a 24-hour sun seen in Antarctica that somehow proves a globe and this proves a flat earth. And I've seen nothing to support that.
Okay, duly noted. MCToon, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Clarence AS2 says, can Brian explains how he thinks the Coriolis has an effect on a sun 93 million miles in the globe paradigm?
That is the globe claim that we're claimed to be on a rotating globe and the sun is stationary, but because we're rotating, we perceive the sun as rotating when it's actually us. That's the Coriolis effect. The same with the stars.
That's not the Coriolis effect.
That is the Coriolis effect. No, it's an optical phenomenon. That is the Coriolis effect.
Absolute idiot. That's not the Coriolis effect.
Really? Please give me the Coriolis effect.
All right. You mute him first so I can answer without him interrupting.
I'll just be quiet. Oh, no, I want this.
I don't trust you, little boy.
MCToon, he just muted. Go ahead, Brian, if you want to mute yourself.
I will. I'll mute myself and you can unmute me, James. I want him to lay that out. So just so we are clear, he's going to tell everyone what the Coriolis effect is.
Go ahead, Melvin.
All right. The Coriolis effect is a lateral force applied to a moving body in relation to the surface of the Earth. The magnitude of that force is dependent on, just directly proportional to the velocity of that object and to the latitude of that object. It is maximized at the poles, minimized at the equator, and for objects that have zero velocity in relation to the surface of the Earth, the Coriolis effect is 0.
Okay, we'll jump into the next question.
Could I just address that for just very briefly?
It's like super brief.
Coriolis effect, what he just laid out there. He actually he tried to lay out a force based on, it's begging the question force. It's not the Coriolis effect. Has nothing to do with Coriolis, what I just laid out.
Vincent Shatwell says the Earth is a stationary plane. Outer space is only real in your imagination. It's annoying listening to globeheads debate. They, such as MCToon, is a liar. MCToon.
Yeah, I would be glad. So my email address is mctoon@mctoon.net. He thinks that I'm a liar, so simply provide the link to where you think I did that and provide the supporting evidence for that claim, and I will issue a retraction.
You were lying earlier on. He just has to play this. Just play this. Problem solved. You okay, Tim? Everything okay with
Okay,
you?
yeah,
link,
we got
link to supporting evidence is the
just
missing part.
chill.
Yeah.
Okay, this one
Yeah.
from Pseudoscience Denier says, what experiment was done to confirm relativity, MCToon?
Well, there's quite a few of them. So Eddington 1919 is one of the seminal, but there's a long list of repetitions of that going up to 1973 using optical measurements during eclipses, but they've also used quasar or pulsar measurements in very long baseline interferometry using multiple satellite dishes at the same time as these objects emit radiation in the non-optical spectrum, so they can measure the shift in position as they approach the sun. They've done that to stars, thousands and thousands of them in all positions of the sky, including 180 degrees opposite the sun, all matching the amount of predicted shift according to relativity. So that's one of several. So I'll just leave it at that as the first one.
There was never any scientific experiments put forth by Einstein for general relativity.
Okay.
Except for the one I just cited.
No, that wasn't.
This one from Pseudoscience Denier says, Looney Tune. Okay, they say, because I've never seen a scientific globe model with the real scientific method to reference repeatably. Oh, well, I guess I have to read the
That's their
insult in
fault,
order
yeah.
for it to make sense. They
Okay.
say, Looney Tune, is your forehead your globe model? Because I've never seen a scientific globe model with the real scientific method to reference repeatably. You have a nice forehead.
It is.
Don't
It is
kid me.
not. I have a spacious forehead. Yeah, definitely spacious. But no, that's not it. I mean, this is a physical model of the Earth right here. It's got no flaws. So, wow, I moving it the wrong way. There you go. Move it the right way. There you go. No flaws.
Okay.
Got any flaws? Feel free to point them out. MCToon@mctoon.net, and bring citations, of course.
Norek says, MC, can I see Polaris sitting or lying in Australia?
You cannot. I tried it in Punta Arenas. I could not see it.
JSS Tiger says, Flat Earth and chat can't tell when Brian. Okay. Monkey Cat Pat says, Brian, thoughts on the moon landing? I need a bingo. Is the moon landing legit, Brian, or is it baloney?
It can't be legit. It's claimed to be a violation of entropy.
Thank you.
It has to be false.
It's one of MCToon's religious beliefs, I know. Veboyos1 says, Brian, in southern Australia, why is Polaris 43 degrees from the horizon?
43 degrees from the horizon? What's he talking about?
Below the horizon.
It can't go below the horizon.
Of course it is.
The horizon's an optical phenomenon. The horizon you're talking about is a geometric edge of a globe. That's not a horizon. You can't even have an horizon on the globe. Horizon is zero slope. So you can't go below something that's just an optical phenomenon. Unless you're claiming the horizon is the geometric edge of a globe. Are you claiming that, Tim? No answer. Off you go, James.
Well, the question wasn't from me, little boy.
Veboyos1 says, Brian, in southern Australia, why is Polaris... Oh, we got that, sorry. Mott says, why does the 24-hour sun in the Arctic move in the opposite direction to the 24-hour sun in Antarctic?
I have no idea. I don't know what the sun is or how it does what it does. I disclaimed that earlier. So if that happens,
it's your superpower.
MCToon
told me. Not my superpower. It's just a fact. I'm honest. Unlike you, who goes around claiming he knows what the sun is, yet he can't support any of it.
I put links in the
chat. A bullshitter and a liar.
I think 5 different links I put in the chat.
No, that doesn't prove your point.
Oh, you didn't read them yet, so how do you know?
There's nothing to read. There are only people saying that this time this person bounced the radar off of the sun. That doesn't prove any of your claims concerning the sun.
Are you saying it's
That
fake?
doesn't prove your claim that you can bounce radar off a plasma.
Are you saying it's all fake?
Sorry?
Are you just saying it's all fake?
No, I'm asking you a question. You made a claim that you can bounce radar off a plasma.
Of course you can.
Yeah,
nobody has a
really
people,
show
people
it.
that understand the topic, unlike you.
Where did they bounce radar off a plasma?
People that understand the topic,
where did
unlike
they bounce?
you.
I understand it. I understand it perfectly.
Next question, James. Thank you.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to go into? Do you want to go into the history of the composition of the sun?
James, if you want the super chats to continue, you're gonna have to.
We got it. All right. MCToon's theory is the sun is made of schmagma or whatever it was. A Bates Theo says theodolite does. As I can't believe MCToon knew what that was. They said theodolite does measure drop, as Brian said, then measure back the other way. The angles on flat Earth should be 180 degrees, but they are always more than 180 degrees at any significant distance.
What are?
Zenith angles. Reciprocal zenith angles are always more than 180 degrees.
No, there's no such thing as reciprocal. That's begging the question. I pulled that apart. I pulled what Jesse Kozlowski did apart. I showed him. I showed what he did. I showed the deception.
It's so such a straw grasp.
Diverging zeniths.
Oh my gosh!
Verticals
just because
I
get it. It's against your cult religion.
Let me ask you this then, Kevin. How did they use the process of rise over run with diverging zeniths?
They didn't use the process.
How did they use the process of rise over run with diverging zeniths? Yeah, they because the zeniths don't diverge.
Oh my gosh, you idiot! That has this weird straw man. How did they use rise over run? They did it easy. Yeah. They didn't use it. They measured an angle. Then they went to the other side and they measured an angle. And they summed them. And they diverged. Amazing. They diverged. They were not parallel. It proved that they're not parallel.
Because the rise over run. That's what they used.
They didn't use rise over run.
They used rise over run. Yeah, I know
they didn't.
I know what Kozlowski did. I made a whole video on it, pulling it apart.
Yeah, obviously this geometry is way over your head.
I showed him to be a fraud. I showed him and Larry Scott and Blue Marble Science to be frauds in my video. Wow. I showed it.
You don't know how theodolites
in rise over run, which is part of differential leveling, right? Are all the verticals parallel?
A theodolite is a
question again. A theodolite is question again. In rise over run, which is part of the process of differential leveling.
Are all not the reciprocal parallel? Zenith angles.
Are all the verticals
off topic?
You can't stay on topic. Not off topic. It's surveying. This is the surveying used practically. Are all the verticals parallel?
Reciprocal zenith angles use a theodolite. They don't use rise over run.
Maybe you need to look up at the ceiling again. Are you all right?
Okay.
So are all the verticals parallel?
Okay.
Too stupid to understand this topic.
Okay.
We have to go to the next one.
Brian, I gave you the last word. Alex Strand says, Brian, you claimed you can't measure the elevation of the sun. MCToon, can you explain why?
I didn't make that claim.
For crying out loud, Brian. They say, MCToon, can you explain why on a flat Earth you would be able to measure the elevation of the sun?
I never made the claim that
Brian,
you can't measure the elevation
what is wrong
of the sun.
with you?
Because I never made the claim.
He's a child.
Okay, fine. We got
it.
Yes,
so it's bullshit. I didn't make that claim.
Just let me finish the question. You never made the claim. I get
Listen,
it.
this is complete bollocks at this stage. Right.
Oh, I can't answer the question.
This is only the complete bollocks.
Run!
Right.
Run away!
If you think I'm going to sit here and allow you to read out comments that I didn't make,
Run!
I'm not.
Run!
Brian, work with me here. Okay. Listen, look at
MCToon.
You're making
I don't give a fuck about your platform. Your platform is fuck all to me. The reason I've never been on your platform before is because you're a bullshit moderator. That's why I've not been on your platform before. Because you're a fuckwit. And so is your other moderator a fuckwit. That's why I don't come on your platform. And because you host fuckwits like MCToon, who's a proven fucking liar. Proven it earlier.
Right.
That's why I don't come on your channel. It's bollocks. So I'm not sitting around here any longer listening to your bullshit. Questions.
Okay, we'll go to the next question. Alex Strand says, Brian, they say MCToon. They say MCToon.
You fuckwit. 2 or 2 fuckwits.
Can you let me read the question?
I won't. You're a fuckwit. You and Tune are fuckwits. That's why I don't come on to. That's why I never came on here before, James. Because you're a load of bullshit. And right, you're a load of bullshit. You think people are going to sit around and listen to stupid questions like that? That's all you want to do.
Listen, you have to
Are
let
you
me
okay?
finish the question.
Are you okay? Are you hot, Tune? Are you have to get hot? You're a bit hot there. It's
Listen.
so funny. So that's feigned laughter. That's feigned laughter.
Okay, you
You're
got
not
me.
really laughing. Tune is not really laughing. None of you are really laughing. None of you are really laughing.
Yes, it's a fake
You're
laugh.
not actually laughing. It's feigned laughter. You need to do that because you don't have anything to defeat anything I have to say. It's that simple.
I'm trying to go.
I'm finding my zen.
It's
I'm finding
feigned
my
laughter.
zen.
You're bullshit. The two of you are bullshit.
Listen, I agree MCToon is, but I have to read the next question. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, if you read out something that's a claim that I said something I didn't say, well, I'm going to say something about it.
Okay, I can. Just
Maybe
relax.
you like being
Okay.
misrepresented. Do you like being misrepresented, James? Maybe that's okay for you.
They
Do you
say
like
MC. They say MCToon. Can
that?
you?
You fucking idiot. You stupid cunt. Two stupid cunts. Two fuckwits. Bullshit. Bullshit debating platform. That's why I'd never come on it before. I only came on it here because I thought that there was actually going to be, this topic was actually going to be addressed, but it was never addressed.
You never touched
Nothing
the
was
topic.
addressed. Nothing
You
was
never
addressed.
touched
Tune
it.
did not produce any evidence, right, that the 24-hour Antarctic sun proved the globe or disproved the flat plane. Nothing happened here.
Okay.
Keep on nothing. Yeah, you don't have tears. You're not wiping your tears of laughter. You're not actually laughing, Tune. You're not actually laughing.
No, apparently not.
You're not. I know you're not actually. I know you're not laughing. Like, I know it's all false. It's feigned laughter.
This
All
one
right.
from. They say
See,
MCToon.
if you were
can
laughing,
you,
you'd still be laughing.
Brian?
What,
They say,
James?
okay, they say MCToon. Can you
Look,
explain
fuck
why?
directly off. Right? Two wankers. How about that?
Why can't I read a question to MCToon?
Yeah.
Bro,
I may as well be having a laugh now because you didn't take any of this serious all night. So why should I take any of it serious? I may as well be
I'm
having a laugh.
trying to read this question to
I may as
MCToon.
well be laughing at him. We'll be laughing with you. What's the point?
Oh my gosh.
None of this. Tune, you're not actually laughing. You're not laughing. It's feigned laughter. People know when laughter is real. That's not real.
Bro, you're destroying this debate.
No, there's no debate. This is not a debate. This is not a debating platform.
No, of course it's not.
This is bullshit.
The Earth is a
James.
globe. You brought nothing. It's not a debate. You're right.
Yeah, all you have to do is produce all the measurements that you don't
I
have.
did.
The original radius measurement. Produce
I posted them in the
It
chat.
doesn't
I
exist.
did.
There's no such thing. No one ever
Bro.
measured the radius. No one ever
Oh my
measured the
gosh.
globe.
Okay, we got it.
Doesn't
So
happen.
they asked, MC-Toon, can you explain why on a flat Earth you would be able to measure the elevation of the sun using basic geometry?
Yes, of course. So I live in Minnesota. It's 45 degrees north latitude. On the equinoxes, the sun is over the equator. I personally measured the angular elevation of the sun to be 45 degrees. Hypothesizing flat Earth, that means that the distance between myself and the equator is equal to the elevation of the sun because it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. I am 3,501, whatever. Sorry, 3,000 miles from the equator approximately, which means that the sun on flat Earth must absolutely, according to geometry, be 3,000 miles in elevation. The problem is you measure that same elevation angle from anywhere else, any other latitude, you get a different value, falsifying flat Earth.
So, Tune, if you raised up in elevation on the same day, right, you went up 6 miles above your house in an airplane and you took an elevation angle with a Bubba sextant, would you get 45 degrees?
No.
You would.
You get a little less.
You would get 45 degrees. You wouldn't. You get 45 degrees. That's what you get.
You get
That's
a little
what you
less.
get. That just shows your ignorance. you get 45 degrees. If you're getting 45 degrees from your house, then you raise up 6 miles in the air directly above your house, you get 45 degrees.
So, a fun fact, Brian, I have calculated.
Not fun fact.
From
not
that,
fun fact. That's
so,
just
oh,
a fact
I was in
of
the
celestial
middle.
navigation.
I was in the middle of talking.
That is
Brian.
a fact of celestial navigation. I don't
Brian,
need your fun fact.
I'm
That's
instructing you
You're
on
just
geometry.
Incorrect. No, I
Brian,
need you. No, you're incorrect, Tim.
Yeah,
what you just said is incorrect. What I just said debunked all that you just said a minute ago. I debunked all of that with what I just said.
A little free education. Hold on. Just
I don't need any education from you. You don't have anything to educate me with.
Obviously you do.
You don't have anything to educate me with.
Listen up.
I've just educated you.
Listen up,
everybody's
Brian.
educating everybody. Let's just MCToon. Go ahead.
All right. So when I did the computation, I included my elevation in the multiple different times that I've measured the elevation of the sun and the radius of the globe. It does vary a small amount, very small amount in arc second, less than arc seconds. But that is in fact what is predicted by the globe, because the sun is extremely far away. And so when you make the change of that angle, it doesn't change very much. If the sun were small and local, if the sun were small and local, then raising
it all.
Shush, Brian.
You're talking
if the sun were small and local, then the sun would have to change in a significant amount as you raised up. So it completely matches the globe and completely disqualifies or falsifies flat Earth. So thank you for bringing that up, Brian.
Okay, I want to jump into the next question. Brian, I'm sure you've got a response, but I do have to get through these questions. Alex Strand, we got that one.
No, James, I do have a response. What Toon just said there was completely false. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You.
He's claiming, So you don't want facts then on your show? So you don't want facts on your show then?
No,
James?
I don't. Okay, I have to go to the next question.
Well, why not? So you don't want facts on your. So why am I here then?
Explain how.
You're just for comedy
here then. If you're not interested in facts, so how can someone debate on your show? How can someone have a debate on your show if you're not interested in facts as the moderator and the runner and the owner of the channel?
Guys, you don't have to respond. There are sometimes.
So you're not interested in facts then, James? So nobody should waste their time.
Not okay, but here, obviously, I do care about facts. But the point is just that we have so many questions that, like, if you guys give rebuttals to each opponent's answer to a question from the audience, it's going to double the time, obviously, before we get to the last questions. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, yes, we know you think MCToon is wrong. Just launch right into it. Give me the facts for why MCToon is wrong in his last response. And please do it pithy, because we have so many questions, and people in the live chat tag me and they go, James, like, well, why haven't you read my question? Did you skip my question? That's why I'm trying to rush this. So go ahead, Brian. Why is MCToon wrong in what he just said?
I'll ask you the question I was asking you. So you please tell me, if you're not interested in facts on your channel, then why should anyone come to your channel to debate?
I just told you.
What you said earlier on, facts. You said earlier on you're not interested in facts.
I was being facetious. Give me the facts on why MCToon
He can't understand sarcasm. He can't. It's over his head.
Why were you being facetious when it was a serious question?
Brian,
why were you being facetious when it was a serious question? What's the point in someone coming here? James, it's 3:45 in the morning, right? Here where I am, right? And you think it's funny that someone is here 3:45 in the morning, right, on a channel that you're running as a moderator, and you're not even taken serious whether something is a fact or not. Is that correct? So no one should come to your channel then.
He doesn't understand sarcasm.
So no one should come to your channel then.
James, this is so common.
No one should come to your channel, James.
Can't comprehend.
Sorry, I'm speaking to James. Sorry, Tim. I'm speaking to James. So no one should come to your channel then to debate. That's
right. No one.
We can state from this point forward that no flat earther should really ever come to your channel.
That's right.
Can we state that, James? Can we state that? Can we state that? That no flat earther should come to your channel from here on in.
We've already said that.
Right, because you're not interested in facts. Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll say goodnight to you then. Goodbye.
Brian, I gotta read the next question. Okay, come on. Okay, listen, we tried.
Oh, he left. He doesn't understand sarcasm,
Um,
poor guy.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm honestly, I tried. It was just, I said, give me the, okay, I'm just gonna go to the next question. Alex Strand says, um, I do want to do me a favor, MC Toon. Don't listen. Brian could have responded to these if he stayed. He left. I know it's 4 in the morning, but he also obviously rage quit. But I'm
Yeah.
going to read these questions because the people did ask them. MC Toon, let's not gang up on him and let's
All right.
not say like, oh, well, obviously he's wrong because of this, because he doesn't have a chance to respond because he's not here, even though he rage
That's
quit.
fair. That's
So
fair.
Alex Strand says, Brian, you claimed you can't measure the elevation of the sun. Oh, we got that one. Sorry. Magellan says, Brian, I am a certified in celestial navigation. It uses spherical trigonometry and absolutely assumes a spherical Earth. You are completely wrong. Okay. Simon says, an Englishman, a Scotsman, and an Irishman walk into a bar. Thank you. Judge rightly says, Brian, I heard you say just prior to my last super chat that one cannot measure the Earth. Then you answer me with saying, quote unquote, we measure it. What are you basing your measurements on without a model? King Ed V says, I'm a retired ATC Brian. Radar takes into account the curve of the Earth, and yes, it sees the geometric horizon at the exact distance of a globe. Magellan says, Brian, whenever anything doesn't fit with your narrative, your chatbot like response is, quote, it didn't happen. John Garwal says the Earth is a globe, just deal with it. Patty. I don't know why he's saying Patty. Andrew Smith says, Toon, I work in plasma systems and we ignite the plasma in a vacuum just like the sun. Each chemical shows its own wavelength. Yet flat earthers say nope. Judge Rightly says, MC Toon, could you give a brief explanation on how a 24-hour sun falsifies the flat earth, thus showing it to be untenable model of the earth? MC Toon, want to give it a shot?
Yeah, I can do that. So there is a little bit of confusion about it because until mid 1800s, the flat earthers thought that there was a universal night and a universal day. And I say until the mid 1800s, basically there weren't flat earthers from ancient times until the mid 1800s for the most part. And so then Rowbottom came in with his new version of it. So we call it Robotomism, where he says that the sun can be above the earth and somehow magically set. There's no actual geometry or physics or optics to explain this. Um, they just say it. They just say words, right? So so in reality, if the earth were flat and there wasn't a universal night, then the sun could never set. You'd always have the sun up all the time, no matter where you are, because it's high above. Right. It'd have to be thousands of miles above, and there's nothing between you and the sun, and there's no geometry, optics, or physics that could cause it to set. So then, but they say it does set for magic. They say magic. So, okay, fine. Take that for a moment and put on the okay, it's magic hat. Now you go to Antarctica, and that magic that works, somehow they say it's because it's too far away. Well, in Antarctica, it's as far away as possible, yet the sun doesn't set. In fact, it goes behind you if you're looking north. You see it due south. I saw the sun due south. So there is no explanation for flat Earth for the sun doing circles that direction from right to left in the south and in the north 6 months later going left to right in the north. Neither of those, there's no one explanation that works for that at all if the earth is flat.
Thank you. This one from Dom Garwell says, Brian, would you take a zero gravity flight FTE2? This one from Obi-Wan says, Brian, at the beginning you made claims measuring distances and time zones and then say no one can measure the radius of the globe. How did you do your measurements? He at the same time claimed we cannot. Reg Joe 23 says, good job, Brian Logic. MC Cartoon still wait for those curve measurements any day now.
MCToon.net/curve. Whole bunch of them there.
You can see all of MCToon's curves at his webpage. MCToon / OnlyFans. Darkstar 4400 says, for Brian, plasma, when dense enough, will reflect radar. This is established physics. Let me go
Yeah.
to let me just check for any last questions. Folks, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for Brian to leave. Obviously, like I I can't even remember what the last thing was that he was unhappy about, but man, it's like we don't hold any grudges, and I don't know. It's hard to do this sometimes, to be honest. But anyway, this one from um let me just get to this next one. Um um okay, here we go. Jarsky says, Brian, what evidence do you have that Earth does not spin? X Penguin 95 says, please point out that Brian's denial of accepted science is not a refutation of them. It is a rejection of science and is a dogma in its own right. Atomic Ariel says, for Brian, how could firmament affect 24-hour sun? Lord Alamanus Pooh says, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want, so tell us what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want is evidence, Brian. Asint Nick says, why did everyone live stream always from the same locations in South America and Antarctica, even though there were other places to live stream from? Sus. Max V says,
I can answer. That's to me.
okay.
We didn't always live stream from the same place. We were the when we were in Antarctica, ALE, the organization that hosted us there, that helped us get there. They set up for us a remote station away from the main camp because at the main camp it's near a mountain. So at between 2 and 3 a.m., the shadow of the mountain would cast over the camp. At least in the early days we were there, so we moved out to this the station that they had left up for the marathon. It was the halfway point of the marathon, so we called it halfway point. So they had a building there. They had bathrooms. They had solar panels so that we could have electricity. They had a generator, but we never used the generator because there was always enough light for the solar panels. So that's where we were, and we had a Starlink there that Will brought. So we had really good internet access there. Of course, Starlink is using satellites, bouncing our signal off satellites. And so we had to be within a Wi-Fi range of that Starlink access point there. So that gave us, a little bit of a perimeter to do live streams from there. But then back at camp, we were on ALE's uh, not their also had a Starlink. So we had to be respectable. We had to respect their bandwidth because there's other people there. So to do a lot of live streaming from there is a little bit selfish. So we did a little bit of live streams. I know Jaron did a live stream from there. So, and then in South America, I did one from my room. I did one from the main floor of the hotel. I did one 2 different times outside the hotel on the waterfront. I don't know why that's a thing. Uh, there's nothing sus about that. So
This one from RegJoe23 says, Brian there to debate. Coon is there to crack jokes. What a clown.
yeah.
King
But
Ed V.
Brian didn't come to debate. When somebody will come up with, I'll read a little bit from this, and you got a couple super chats up. I'll cover that.
King Ed V says, wow, let's see, I don't know what that means. A bait says, Brian, if the earth is flat, why is it not possible to have three sextant measurements from different latitudes at the same time triangulate the sun? Jarsky says, how do we have atmosphere pressure if gravity isn't real? Binge Thinker says, get well soon, James. Thank you for your kind words. Gold Dinger says, Brian, where did the priest? Okay. Atomic Aerials says, pout. Okay. Theo Megawordy says the Earth is flat regardless of Brian's quote unquote behavior. We got just a few more here. Pardon my, I'm working on it. It's been a long day. J Bone says Brian, don't ever debate again, man. Okay. Retro Bill says James, this is the most unprofessional and lamentable debate moderator performance I've witnessed in over 10,000 debates. Not a serious channel. Wow, you've watched 10,000 debates? That's a lot. But
Can I address this one?
sure.
So I switched my camera. You see this book I have here,
Yeah.
the Debater's Guide, fourth edition. This is mostly about Lincoln Douglas style debates, but it's very pertinent to this. And once I read this, you'll see that Brian wasn't here to debate. So what can you do? It's a joke. The three burdens. The debater should understand three more terms at this point: burden of proof, burden of rebuttal, burden of communication. Burden of proof. Burden of proof is a primary rule of argument or debate. It first requires the affirmative to bear the burden of proving the proposition, which I did. Subsequently, it requires every speaker to support every assertion made by that speaker, because any assertion must be supported by proofs. Those who assert must prove is a fundamental and long-standing rule of every debate. Now, this is right here. This is kind of the essence of debating. Brian did not come to do this. This was not. The commenter here is correct. This was not a debate. Brian had no intention of debating. He has no intention of supporting any of his claims. He just says Earth is measured flat and expects that to be accepted blindly by everybody. So I will say that James, in one essence, this wasn't a debate. This was a time to laugh at flat earthers' inability to debate.
This one from Max V says, James, this is the most professional and wonderful debate moderator performance I've witnessed in over 10,000 debates. Such a fun channel. Thank you for your kind words, Max V. um, we do want to be professional in the sense that one, like we can't let there be too many interruptions because, if somebody's just bullying the other person in terms of their time, where they aren't able to speak their fair share of time, well, then it's not fair, right? It defeats the purpose of a debate. And then obviously, like, us keeping our promises. So, for example, like I told MCToon earlier today, I said, bro, I'm like sick as a dog. And I said, I'm going to try to get Ryan to do this, but Ryan was just wiped out. So I did it to keep the promise. But in terms of like professionalism, in terms of like, oh, James said cuck, like it's just not a big deal. And we're not uptight, and it's not your grandma's debate channel. Like the debaters are gonna like use personal attacks or ad hominems, and it's the other debaters' responsibility to call that out. If you want a moderator that will call that out, go to another channel. Go make your own channel, in fact, and it will probably be the most boring channel in the world. Like, at least we let things be organic here. We don't like put the debaters in a straitjacket and say like, "Oh, you can't call the other person a moron." Like, we just let it fly. Judge Rightly says bad drivers. Says MC Toon, thanks for answering my question. Was not expecting that extra bit of history. I don't know what
You're
that was
welcome.
referring to. This I think we caught up. So let me just double check in the live chat if there's any last questions that I missed. Want to say thanks for your support, folks. We will let our debater go, and thank you, MCToon, for being here. Thanks again to Pastor Duffy for helping arrange this debate. And yeah, I want to say it's been fun. I really have no hard feelings. You can find Brian's Logic link in the description box. That includes at the podcast. Um, and yeah, so I highly encourage you to check that out. And yeah, but yeah, thank you, MC Toon, for being here. Oh,
All right.
last but not least, before we close out, there is a poll in the Modern Day Debate live chat on who you thought was most persuasive tonight. If you want to tune in at the Modern Day Debate YouTube live stream, that will be up for a few more minutes. But thank you, MC Toon, for being here.
All right. Thanks a lot. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
All
I'll
right.
be back in a moment, folks. Let me just pull the plug on old MC Toon here.
I'll take off. All right. See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, my dear friends, thank you guys for your support. I've got to go in just a moment. I'm actually like no joke. I'm actually feeling like really cruddy. I woke up with a sore throat, and then I'm not joking. Today, um, was the first time in my life this afternoon where I was like thinking like, should I go to the emergency room? Because I was just feeling so terrible. I had meditated for 2 hours, and I was like, okay, I think I feel a lot better, and I'm just gonna see if I can do this. And you know, I feel okay. I definitely have a sore throat and want to go to sleep, but thank you guys for your support. I think that there are a lot of people in chat that are triggered by tonight's debate, and I have to sincerely say that's just too bad. And I hope you don't cry too much in your cornflakes tonight. all of the losers and haters who say that this is biased. And it's just like, no, I think that you are delusional. And the people that say that are overprotective of their debater and their worldview. And if they feel like it's not being presented as well as they hoped it would in the debate, they tend to use the moderator as a scapegoat. So everybody in the live chat that says that, like I said, don't cry too much in your cornflakes. It's very sad. A lot of losers and haters out there, but we love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And I want to say like 99% of you in the live chat are not complaining. So I do want to acknowledge that like there are a billion people in the live chat that are actually very positive and had a good time and are not complaining. So, but thank you guys. Love you guys. Oh, that's right. I should say it wasn't that you don't cry in your cornflakes too much. I should instead say, don't cry in your soy flakes. Okay? Don't cry in your soy flakes too much. A lot of losers and haters. But anyway, thanks, guys. I will see you at the next one. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. Nicholas Federico in the old live chat. He's still crying in his soy flakes. But I do appreciate you guys. Appreciate you being here. Pseudoscience denier also crying in his soy flakes. But thank you guys. Loki, thanks for your kind words. And then Ian Hancock, thanks for your kind words. Don't worry, I already have seen a doctor. But thank you guys for your support. Love you guys. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. And I hope you get some rest as well.